Maybe I should get back to battling. Oh, one more video couldn't hurt, right?
Subscribe. Subscribe.
Maybe I should get back to battling. Oh, one more video couldn't hurt, right?
Subscribe. Subscribe.
直接拔掉了，拿下国卡，拿到一个游侠的位置很完美，还有吗？
まずはタロンが一本選手。
KFU were able to come back from a great response.
파브가 결승에 진출합니다.
球球一砸带走。
당연히도 이거 역전. 아하.
准备五冠王朝 NOVA 战队。
そして3発。
Welcome everyone to Clash Royale League East special season final day. It has been an absolute terror of a tournament, and now we're here, losers bracket final, grand final. G-Clef, how you feeling about today?
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Only 2 matches, but we are going to crown the champion at the end of today. And which team will it be? Kicks, Fav, WEDGM. Only 2 matches, and soon you will find out. It's been a hell of fun of last 8 weeks. It comes down to the last final day, Simon.
Yeah, these teams have all played each other before in the regular season. These teams have also played each other in this tournament. WEDGM have knocked out Kicks
and Fav.
So WEDGM is waiting for whatever team will win this losers bracket final. Revenge, or is it just going to be another WEDGM victory planting the flag on top of the other team's face? Like, what is going to happen? I saw on Twitter a lot of people think Fav, a lot of people think WEDGM, and then me and a small group of others think Kicks. So who do you think is going to take it today?
I do not know. I think WEDGM still has a higher chance. Just from being the winners, they can actually wait and prepare a little bit more. Of course, they do have to send in their active roster. Yeah, active roster, and also all the teams that are going to be playing in the semifinals. They also have to. So we'll see what happens. But from the winner's side, they can actually just sit down and watch the match before they actually have to go through that best of 5. So it'll be a lot of stamina fight. Can be stressful to go back-to-back best of 5 for either Kix or Fob.
Yeah, so here's the thing. A lot of people were assuming that, you know, whoever wins the losers bracket final has to go and face WEDGM and beat them twice to take the tournament. No. We're not resetting the bracket. The punishment for being in that losers bracket is playing back-to-back matches. So that is the downside to being in that losers side. There's no need to reset the bracket. Looking at the cards, Goblin Cage, Bats are in so many decks right now. Bats, Earthquake, Firecracker, Goblin Cage, Royal Delivery. Those 5 cards can be in like 6 different types of decks. It's absolutely insane how good these cards have become. Mainly for Cycle, but Goblin Cage is just one of those buildings that just does an absolute... It does everything you need.
Yep. For Musketeer Skeleton, they can be subbed out with archers or goblins, so they went down just a little bit. Here's the playoff bracket. As you can see on the right, we're just waiting for those 2 matches. Match 9, Kix Fob and the grand finals versus WEDGM. Been a hell of a playoff, you know? Fob, Kix both lost to WEDGM 3-2. We went all the way to the last game. So in comparison, we still can't really compare the power directly until they go against each other. But during the regular season, they did, but it was on a different patch. So we will have to see and who they've actually faced in that King of the Hill, Triple Draft, and also the 3 best of 3 1v1s. That's going to be the key. I think the Triple Draft player... It's actually, holding down, and they're actually having a lot of responsibility during the season. Yeah,
throughout the season, they were very important Triple Draft. In these best of 5s, they're slightly less important, but they do give your team a huge advantage. If you win that King of the Hill, then win the Triple Draft, you only need to win 1 more match. But we've seen Fav go 0-2.
That's right, yeah.
And then come back and just 1v1v1v1 and just be like, yeah, okay, work here is done. I'm finished. Let's go home.
Yeah, same for WEDGM. They lost the first 2 and then come back in the 1v1 strong with their 1v1 members in the best of 3. They basically took it 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. There were some of those moments. And because of best of 5, if you put your best player on that 5th spot, the player sometimes do not get to play.
Yeah, so we look at the teams now. Kix team 5 wins, 4 losses. Bob 6 wins and 4 losses. That's because they have played 1 extra game in this losers bracket. I think 10, 9, yeah, something like that. Okay, King of the Hill, very heavily on Kix's side. Kix do really well there. Triple Draft, 50-50, I would say, 40-33%. Anyone can take that. The 1v1s, though, Fav Gaming have been spectacular. Key players, Onion and Jack. Onion is 100% in 1v1s right now, but that's only because he played 2 games last week in playoffs. And the rest of the season, not so much. But Jack is an absolute monster, but he's not even the scariest monster on Fav Gaming right now because our boy Expo Master is way up there.
Yeah, along with Jack and also Donny winning some of those King of the Hill, certainly helping out the team. And Kix, in history, they haven't been so good in 2018. But 2019, with the different roster, they started taking it back. Actually getting first in the group and then reaching to the semi-final until the very end of 2019 fall versus OGN, falling down, but they are up here now in the semis. The worst they can do is 3rd for all the teams. They go up 2nd.
Yeah, okay, King of the Hill comparisons. Islaw, 75% win rate in King of the Hill. This guy is also a monster. He's played less games than some of the other players, but that's because Kix haven't really had to rely on him all too much. There was that brief period where they did have to rely on him, and then the rest of the team kind of rallied up again. And this first match is going to be Benzer versus Jack. The last time these two played, I believe it was Benzer who got the best, and Benzer started talking ever so slightly, a little bit of smack on Twitter.
Jack certainly playing a lot more in the playoff and has been using a lot more towards the wall breaker when Benzer tends to rely on a lot of others like the RG, Balloon. In terms of variety, Benzer played a lot more, but Jack focusing on not too few also, but bringing some of those Goblin Barrels, even Balloon, the Battle Ram P.E.K.K.A. They have been absolutely crazy. Let's see what the game looks like.
Well, we're soon gonna be into the arena here. Kicks Benzer Riddell in blue at the bottom of the screen. Fav Gaming's Jack in red at the top, and this is the first match, the first game of the losers bracket final. Here we go.
So what are the deck choice going to be? Jack has been going all the way back to the classics and Skeleton Barrel. It's smelling like those spell bait that he has pulled out even last week.
Skarmy can be anything though right now. Skarmy is a very useful defensive tool.
Just like the cage that we are seeing.
Cage and Snowball appear in so many different decks. Musketeer kind of narrows it down a little bit here.
Yeah, even with the Cage Snowball. So we have to see the win condition. We're still starting to... Ooh, Giant. All of a sudden, isn't the Giant Sparky that we have seen before, or even the Minor Poison?
Yeah, we'll see. Night Witch played at the back for Benzer. That's going to help deal with some of this. Bats in the back. Dark Prince played up front, so this might be a graveyard deck here from Benzer Riddell. Still not sure. Jack?
Yeah, even pushing it with the Giant, so Benzer's got a similar taste. So not so bad, the Giant will be taking a lot of damage, but the Dark Prince, along with those arrows,
does get the charge in, and this is going to be a lot of damage. The Night Witch is very healthy as well. The Bats trying to do what they can.
Extra Bats.
Couple of hits, down to 199. Critical damage from Benzer straight out the gate here.
Too much damage already taken. Yeah, Benzer, instead of wasting elixir, he had the cage to just throw it down on the ground. But Jack is just having that Giant big body placed in the middle with no other defensive tools. He had to take a lot of damage even before that double elixir time. Now, can he come back in this game?
Well, we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter how far back Jack is. He can always come back into a game. There is the Graveyard Blade. Bats to defend. Expect Snowball to come out to get rid of those. 76. That tower is gone. Jack focuses on his offense. There is the Giant. There is the Graveyard. Night Witch. Good defense here. It looks like Benzer might be able to just hold off against this push. Arrows coming in from both players. And not a lot of damage got done there. 800-ish on the count. Plus that Giant Punch. Now it's about 1,000.
Still not too bad. Giant Benzer instantly locking that on. Defensive mini P.E.K.K.A. against that Giant. It doesn't reach, but still the Skarmy is doing some work, and Musketeer survives, which means Jack can have another chance of pushing this tower bottom.
Yeah, and expect to see the Graveyard come out because it is desperation time for Jack. There is the Graveyard. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like there will be enough time to take that tower down. And Benzer looks like he's going to draw first blood here for Kicks in this King of the Hill.
Yeah, both bringing a different type of Giant Graveyard. Yeah, Benzer certainly with the early cage worked out a little better with the starting end. Jack out of options to actually defend against the Brawler. Had to go with the Musketeer and the Giant to begin with, which costed him about 2,000 HP to begin with.
Yeah, that first push was absolutely deadly, but taking the Giant out before it gets anywhere near your towers and then being able to plop your own Giant in is such an advantage here for Benzer. And he doesn't even really need here to pull the trigger on the Graveyard. He just does the damage with the Dark Prince and the Night Witch. He now has extra elixir. He has the Graveyard in hand to be able to finish that off. Genius play by Benzer here.
It felt really like Benzer having the right river card to fill in the last spot, just having that Giant placed, and when Jack was sort of out of that mini P.E.K.K.A. to go against that Giant was the problem. Now Jack is out of King of the Hill. Donny to kick in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jack Donny Expo Master finishing off for Jack for Fav right now.
That would be where the smart money would be. I mean, Donny has a 38% win rate in terms of King of the Hill. We've seen him play, I think it was last week he played What kind of decks does he like, G-Clef? Because I know that you really do have this information.
He's got 4 games. Yeah, 3 against WEDGM Solomon and 1 against Gerald from Talon. 1 Goblin Giant Sparky. Yes, it's been a while. We don't really see it anymore.
With the rage or without the rage?
Without the rage.
Okay.
Without the rage. And so I think we're leaning more towards that Royal Hogs Mega Knight, which he did play against Gerald, which was only a few weeks ago.
Yep.
But I've seen it in practice. A lot of Japanese players are practicing a lot of those Royal Hog, even with the Magic Archer. You can sub in a lot of the different cards, even with the Hill Spirit, going back to the old, like 2 months ago deck with the Magic Archer.
Back when we first started this tournament.
And then plus with the Hill Spirit when the Hill Spirit jumped in. So I think those are the real key that could flip lots of results today. I think Japanese players are really considering that deck today.
Will we see the 3.0 cycle deck that looks, walks, and talks like a Royal Giant deck, and then ends up having Skeleton Barrel, and then the Royal Hogs instead of RG and the
or the Hog Rider? Or there's some
Spirit.
even some Ram Rider decks that looks really similar to the Hog Rider decks, or even with the RG Firecracker decks. So I think we really need to wait until the win condition card today and see what the actual deck is.
Well, we've started to see that Ram Rider deck, and it does look like it's going to be something like Bridge Spam. It looks like it might be Mega Knight Wall Breakers, and then they throw in the Ram Rider. So we've got to the point of this season where they're taking meta decks, making one crucial change, and throwing their opponents off balance. This is where the pro decisions matter the most, when these tiny little changes and how they play that deck differently to get into their opponent's head. But here we are. It's going to be Benzer Riddell for Kicks, looking to take game 2 here against Fav Donny.
Let's see, still King of the Hill. Can Benzer go in handy and take one more down, or even all the way up to 3 for Kicks? Here comes Benzer's favorite.
It is going to be that Mortar deck, the deck that basically made Benzer's name in basically Clash Royale. We've seen it many times before. He is a god on Mortar.
He's used it with the Prince once and the Cannon Cart once. Now this is the Cannon Cart variation. Let's see if it's still the Spear Goblins or the Dark Goblin. Has been making that adjustment a lot in and out.
So
and for Donny, still 10 possible options.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that with those 3.
Giant. It's going to be Giant Graveyard. Is it with the Night Witch or without? That is an actual good question there. Snowball comes in. And both players kind of just feeling each other out. There is the Night Witch, so we can expect to see maybe a Graveyard in this push, or maybe he will hold it. So he does play down that Graveyard here. Royal Delivery comes in to help clean up, push things away. The Night Witch is kind of in nowhere, so the Princess Tower is going to be able to help defend here. Still took quite a bit of damage, though, and hasn't managed to get his own damage done to the towers. And throwing out the good game already.
Yep. Seems like Benzer still, he can also use that Cannon Cart push when he has a near-perfect defense. What makes it hard is the last spell for Donny. Is it also the arrow, or is it anything else? Yes, still the arrow. So Benzer, even though he is going to place his Spirit Goblins in the Goblin Gang carefully, even the bats, but the arrows are going to take most of them out.
Yeah, the radius on the arrows makes it very difficult when you're trying to play things like Goblin Gang and the Spirit Goblins.
So instead of having
those,
those,
hits everything.
Yeah, so instead of having those more in the defensive position, he goes all the way out. Let's say, okay, I can't take more damage. Let's try to trade, and then bridge spam push. Cannon lock.
The Cannon Cart gets the lock. Will he be able to defend the Giant Night Witch coming down? Is there going to be a Graveyard here? That is the question. No, it doesn't look like it this time. Royal Delivery comes in, cleans all that up nicely, and now Benzer has a very healthy advantage, but he needs to defend this Graveyard push. Will he be able to do it?
Let's see, Cannon.
Oh, the Snowball doesn't catch the Spirit Goblins at the back, but it does slow down the tower, and that tower is taking a lot of damage. 716. It is kind of equalized now.
Benzer also wanted that cannon so the Giant would be drawn into the building form right after the Cannon Cart. It did not really work out 100%, but still in favor of Benzer. He can use the Miner to finish this. Oh, perfect prediction with the Dark Prince all the way in the back for Donny.
Well, that's the problem when you are playing and relying on that Miner, is if your opponent knows you better than you know yourself, they're going to catch that miner time in, time out. A no big spell does make it kind of difficult. 2-4-4 remaining. So this needs to be a perfect defense on the graveyard. Snowball does come in. Goblin Gang played. And that is pretty well cleaned up.
Yep. Another miner with an offensive log is exactly what Benzer is looking for. He's okay with the Dark Night Witch locking onto the back because he needs to stop that attack with the Giant pushing from Donny.
So Spirit Goblin is going to help clear this up. The Night Witch does actually go down, and the Giant's going to be stuck in the middle. Bats versus Bats delivery as well. That Giant, but the miner gets through. Nothing stopping it. And that is it. Benzer takes game 2. What did this man eat for breakfast?
Don't know exactly. It had to be good. Special meal for Benzer.
He's definitely had his Weetabix.
At least, yeah, one game out of these many games that he has, in a match, he always bring that Motor Miner. Sometimes with a Prince, sometimes with a Cannon card. He's going to do it again. Last time he did it against the Golem deck, which he feels comfortable played it against, I'm pretty sure, maybe even 1,000 times.
Yeah, the one thing you can say about Benzer is his miners are kind of predictable. He does tend to go down that back, like right behind the tower. But even then, you stop it time and time again. The one time he decides to switch up, puts it at the front, there's no answer. Plus, Donny was in. Donny went all in here. He needed this push to finish the game. Was not quick enough. The miner did the work. And now we see Donny get replaced by Expo Master.
It's a big moment where it's already a 2-0. Jack went down. Expo Master did have his moment even during the regular season to come in big in game 3 and then just have that big reverse sweep. And also taking that 1v1 game by himself. There were one of those big matches for Expo Master to actually have that big chicken party right after.
Yeah.
Is tonight going to be the same case? The Benzer seems to be on a big roll.
Well, the last time these two players met in the King of the Hill was back in regular season, and Expo Master was victorious over Benzer Riddell. But the story of that game is that Kix went on to win 2-0. It's going to be hard for Expo Master to clear the rest of Kix here. Because what if they put in Onion? What if they put in Ice Lord? Those are two absolute... They're on fire right now.
Yeah, the roster seems to be so strong all throughout for Kix. But Expo Master, he has to focus on Benzer right now and see what he could bring. There was some of those P.E.K.K.A decks that he did like to play. And for right now against Benzer, I think it's less of a chance to actually bring that P.E.K.K.A. Just going back to his old the P.E.K.K.A Miner, which worked great both of the times, but only 2 times. Just going back to his Wall Breaker or some Spell Bait, I think those are really his quick cycle type of a player that he brought a lot of wins to. Or even some Hog Rider Valkyrie that he did play twice during the playoff. So these are going to be the high chance decks that Expo Master is going to bring, which Benzer 100% will also know. So will he twist all this and then suddenly bring an Expo? Finally.
I don't think so.
At this moment, if they were winning, maybe, but he's the last person.
I think Expo Master is going to bring Goblin Giant Sparky.
Goblin Giant Sparky?
With the mini P.E.K.K.A. with the Rage.
With the Rage?
With the Rage, the Rage version. Because I feel like that kind of deck would do better against Benzer. And I don't think Benzer likes playing against that deck. From what I know,
he does like to play on his own, but
not
with the
himself.
Rage. Yeah, he plays it himself with that Lightning. Let's see, because a lot of these matches, especially, it came down to not just the spells but the building. Sometimes the placements, but also which type of building, like the bomb tower, cage, or even some infernos going down the line. And Infernos, yeah, even after the earthquake, it still has a pretty good amount of HP. Against the Hog Rider, pretty good, but against lots of small troop cards, especially those Skeleton Barrel, then you're looking into a harder time. Instead of having a bomb tower, you're spending one more cost, and it's not as effective. So let's see what the deck is going to be and what kind of building he's going to have.
So we're going to get into this. What could be the last game of King of the Hill. It is set point for Benzer Riddell in blue for Kix. Expo Master needs to reverse sweep to give his team the advantage going into the triple draft.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to happen? We will soon find out.
Let's see if Benzer goes back to his giant graveyard. That will be nice. Oh, certainly starting off with only a bandit.
Probably that Ram Rider deck. It could be the Prekka Bird spam that you were talking about.
Yeah, or still the Wall Breaker Miner with the MK. That's still possible with the Bandit Musketeer.
Goblin Cage here could literally be anything.
With the log, let's see if it's the different version of the Hog Rider we see with the cage. Wall Breaker Miner from Expo.
Looks that way. Bat's there to clean that up. Musketeer against Musketeer. And the Miner comes in from Benzer too. And it is Wall Breakers here from Expo Master. Goblin Cage used to pull them into the middle. And now it's just both players kind of feeling each other out, getting a taste of what they're bringing, trying to adjust the cycle early on now to try and get the advantage later in the game. So we can... Ooh.
Oh yes, balloon time! Or is it... and there are certain tricks, and still you pretend like it's a balloon deck, and then suddenly you bring a Ram Rider in. There are those chances, but certainly we're leaning towards that balloon from Benzer.
Yep, well...
But against the Mega Knight, can be tough.
Yeah, the Zap is there to help deal with the bats that Benzer kind of has to rely on for defense, but that Mega Knight doesn't get anywhere near the tower.
Yeah, so
good stuff.
Expo Master, he would want that Miner to lock onto the Musketeer so that the Musketeer can't do direct damage to the Mega Knight. Yeah, those are going to be the key trades.
We are into double elixir, and there is the balloon. Minions down.
Delivery.
Oh,
down, but with the rage, minions. Yeah, moved away from the balloon, so the Musketeer had to be put down.
Forcing his opponent to spend a little bit of an elixir, but Expo Master still has quite a bit of an advantage in terms of elixir at this point. Miner comes in, the log is there, 1590 remain. Benzer has an advantage, but don't count Expo Master out right now.
Yeah, Expo has to open the gates, open the cage with those wall breakers so that the Mega Knight would connect, or even the dashes from the Bandit. Here comes a big push.
Is he going to be able to defend? The minions connect pretty healthily there. 1649 remain. Here is the balloon. The minions have been spent.
Yakanta Punch with a good rage position, but pulled from the delivery, and the minions had to, blocking the way of that balloon, not reaching the tower directly.
The cycle on Expo Master being able to just go back through his deck and get another set of minions for that defense. It is a bit rough, but now minions should be in hand for Expo Master, so the next balloon should be easier to deal with.
And Benzer's problem is that how can I pair my Lumberjack Rage into the balloon timing? The Zap to reset, and Lumberjack has to survive for that Rage. Expo Master, knowing all that, a good block on the Musketeer is still alive for Benzer.
Yeah, the balloon comes down, but the minions should be around. There's the Musketeer. Oh, and the Bandit connects for Expo Master. Snowball there does get a drop. 380 remain.
That's Log Snowball.
Wow.
Is this 3-0 for Kicks to start?
Well, it's not over yet. There is still this to deal with, the Miner plus the minions here. And the minions connect. Zap comes in.
Ooh, 133. Was just cycling for that last Snowball. The finishing blow from Benzer is going to lock and seal the deal on King of the Hill. Kicks 3-0.
Benzer gets the sweep against Vav. He took out Jack and Expo Master. This is going to be an insane day. If this is what the rest of this day looks like, it's going to be insane. The Snowball there to slow everything down, but the Wall Breaker still connects.
I love the defense with the Lumberjack position, keeping that Musketeer alive back-to-back against the Miner and a few others.
So the Musketeer is there, helps clean up. Delivery to push back, minions to try and clean that up. And it does. It did a very good job of cleaning up there. But then this push. I thought the minions were available, but the Musketeer, he doesn't have the elixir for anything else. The delivery to try and push back, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, Musketeer and then delivery after, which takes a long time to actually come down to the ground. Yeah, so couldn't actually get that knockback before the connection.
That was so close, that finish. If what those wall breakers had been ever so slightly earlier, we'd have been looking at an Expo Master victory because they were ready to connect.
And Benzer also pairs it up so perfectly that even if the balloon doesn't reach the tower, the death blow still connects into the defensive musketeer and from Expo Master, and also the bandits sometimes, the bats or the minions in the air. So he was trying to get the maximum benefit from that death damage from the balloon, which helped a lot when he's switching into the defensive mode when the HP is already half down or 60%. It's a lot easier to defend, to connect with that remaining HP lumberjack, always dropping that rage at a near perfect spot onto the other side, the opponent's side, and then it's time for a balloon.
Yep. Well summed up what we saw there. We are going to be going into triple draft relatively soon now. I'm expecting Benzer to come out again against Kenzamushi in this triple draft, because if you're changing your triple drafter at this point of the season,
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but you got to have something better than what the player had before. That's basically the only chance. And Benzer playing back-to-back can be rough. I'm pretty sure even Kicks formed the roster in this way because Benzer has to play that triple draft. Most likely, he goes on first for King of the Hill, where he can get some break time. So when it comes down to the triple draft, he can actually watch the other match and then get some resting time before he switches into another gear. It's like going from an English class and then to a math class right after. Sometimes your brain does not work.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work anyway. So looking at it, one of the things in this playoff so far is that Benzer has done really well in the King of the Hill. Goes into that triple draft and has lost 2 there. 1 and 2 against D King, 1 and 2 against Higher. So if there's this 50% win rate is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's decent, but recently in the playoff, he did lose to D King and Higher. So I think that's the important key. But still, that's a
It's gonna be Legend. Okay, Legend has a 0-2 win rate in triple draft where he lost 2-0 to Solomon. It is going to be Kenzamushi, who has a very healthy 60%. Yeah, 60% win rate in this King of the Hill.
Which I think is a big risk, but Legend has found himself a place in that triple draft spot for Kicks. Solely for the other players to focus on that 1v1. Let's see, Kenzamushi, one of the better, certainly the better player to be in that triple draft spot. It's going to be an uphill climb though.
Yeah, for Fav, Kenzamushi kind of made the triple draft mode his own. He has beaten D King, Little Chen, Solomon, Tengod, but he has lost to Line. Solomon back in the regular season, and he did lose to Line as well. So he has a very, very good triple draft mentality, one would say, because part of triple draft is the mind games. Part of it is, even if you get a bad draft, trying to make it work. And then even if you lose that game where you have a bad draft, you do not tilt. Triple draft is a very... It's a strong mental game between the two players.
We are not waiting. We're not having any kind of delays today. We're moving forward. Already in the game to start. Firecracker. Oh, Royal Logs all of a sudden.
And a Night Witch here as well, so we can expect to see things like Cannon Card, maybe even an Elixir Collector from Kenzamushi. It depends on what he decided to choose. Those are the other cards in that category there. And a Prince.
A great pair on the left and the right.
Okay, King Tower is activated. Heal Spirit is there to just demolish the skeletons from that barrel. And then Legend eats a bandit to the face. And it's taken a lot of damage very early on.
1 minute. You take less than 100 damage, slightly more than 100 damage, activate the King Tower, and you're winning big time.
It's a very strong starting position here for Kenzamushi. Barrel comes in, but Barbarian Barrel as well is an answer.
Sniped!
That is going to be real rough here.
Still
And
just
again,
waiting. Yeah, still just waiting for the big spells for both of the players.
Firecracker does connect, but Legend just doesn't seem to be able to
Yeah, not having a
hold
building
that
card.
damage. Yeah, he doesn't. He can't hold that damage. No Mega Knight. No, he just doesn't have the tools available to easily defend the Royal Hogs coming in. Whereas Kenzamushi could defend Goblin Barrels all day, every day with Magic Archer, with the Barbarian Barrel,
Yeah,
even with the Dark Prince.
Yeah, sometimes with those two options, the two barrels, you think because this is triple draft, only two spells not going to be enough oftentimes. But when you also have the Dark Prince, the Heal Spirit, Kenzamushi's got more than 4 answers to actually solve those questions. Legend locked in.
And the lightning coming down as well. Kenzamushi finding an opportunity here to throw down some extra tower damage, and that is what he has done. This time the Hogs don't get too much damage, but there's not a lot of HP left, so it all matters.
The Barbarian Barrel to answer all those.
That was probably the most value
Worth.
you'll ever get out of a Barbarian Barrel. Oh my goodness.
Hard choice to actually pull off when the King Tower is already activated. There's a poison to chip in some spell damage. Kenzamushi is waiting for any kind of stress plus the lightning to finish off this bottom left.
There we go. He doesn't even need the lightning. The Royal Hogs will be enough. And Kenzamushi, unless something crazy happens in the next 2 seconds, takes game 1 in the triple draft. Kenzamushi drafted like a king there. He had everything he needed to defend.
As if he knew exactly what Legend was going to form with the Skeleton Barrel and that Goblin Barrel, which he had seen out of those 3 chances, the win condition and also the others. You don't 100% expect these to come out, along with the pair of Firecracker, Night Witch, and the Prince.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough for Legend. Once you start seeing the Magic Archer against the barrels, the Dark Prince against the barrels, even the Heal Spirit and the Barbarian, there was just nothing he could do.
I think Legend
His whole strategy relies on getting these barrels to deal damage and to connect.
Yes.
He just could not get that going. There was just too many defensive tools.
That Barbarian Barrel Elixir trade. Talk about having one of the best days in your life in Clash. And Firecracker, okay, but just like sort of against the graveyard, it's okay, but it's not perfect,
ideal. Yeah,
and it's not ideal. It's slow, and activating the King Tower also helped the opponent in lots of ways. I think
I don't think it helped at all.
Yeah.
Kenzamushi did not need that activation.
It did a little.
No, what was it going to do? Stop a Goblin from hitting? Goblins never even got a scratch anyway. They were instantly shut down.
Kill those skeletons from the barrel, man. And those are little. I think Legend was sort of thinking maybe not just the Royal Hog. The other 2 options from Kenzamushi's side had to be some type of golem. That's why we see the Inferno Dragon come out from Legend.
Heavy.
I think there were lots of choices of you could actually where Kenzamushi could have gone heavy, and Kenzamushi is known as a golem player, so you would think, okay, it's out there. So I think he would have took it. Okay, let's be safe. Take Prince, and also the Inferno Dragon just in case.
And that's where a lot of the mind games are. Like, you have to know what your opponent likes in terms of win conditions. A lot of the coaches, I assume, are looking back on all the triple drafts and being like, okay, he nearly always picks this. It's come up too often to be just the draft. He must like this card. If you see this option, he's going to pick it. And that could have come into play. That is definitely one of the mind games that happens in triple draft mode, where you notice patterns in your opponent, the cards they pick the most, and when you see the 3 options, you'll be like, he's going to pick that. And then you go and do that.
Reverse
switch it up.
Reverse psychology, man. Kenzamushi went the right way, had lots of options, and really impressed. Sometimes, even for the pros, I do see pros not often, but still missing the exact timing on the Heal Spirit, jumping from behind the Princess Tower into the skeleton body there. And that was also perfect from Kenzamushi. When that was not available, Dark Prince to answer, Bar Barrel against the Goblin Barrel. Like
Magic Archer against the Goblin Barrel too.
What else could have Legend done in that game? It was...
I don't think there was... He could have maybe picked other cards. I think that was his win condition
Yeah,
there.
maybe some even defensive form was hard. I think he went down into the poison spell damage into the tower, which was okay, but already too late into a late game situation.
He had a lot of single target options. The Night Witch, Prince. So yeah, it feels like there was a big body there that Kenzamushi could have picked. Legend assumed he was going to pick it as a way to, counter it. We could have been looking at something different if it was a giant deck.
That's giant. So works pretty well. Even against the Elixir Golem.
Could have been Royal Giant. Kenzamushi could have gone for the Royal Giant, and then Legend would have been rubbing his hands together because he had a lot of options against that.
Let's see. Kenzamushi can bring it back, for Fob. They lost the King of the Hill, but usually swinging it back. It starts from this moment for Fob Gaming.
Well, Legend doesn't have the best win rate in Triple Draft. We mentioned it earlier. He's only played once before, and it was 0-2 against Solomon. He has to prove himself here, and he has to make sure that the coach didn't make a bad choice in allowing Legend to play this mode. So Night Witch from Kenzamushi. Is it going to be a Golem?
Yeah, even from the moment we see the Night Witch from Kenzamushi, we imagine it's going to be something heavy like the Golem, and instead Hog, but it still drags into the cage.
Yeah, and the bowler is there. That's going to keep it off the tower long enough for the tower to finish it off in the Goblin Brawler and a balloon. The Mega Minion is going to lock. Oh, and Executioner. Oh,
the freeze all of a sudden. That's a big spell for Legend. At least 2.
This is like watching a mid-ladder match right now. Freeze balloon. Okay, nice. 1-5-4 remain. That is a big swing in Legend's favor, but is he going to be able to defend this? This is actually a hell of a lot of stuff. What has he got against the P.E.K.K.A? What can he use as his distraction?
Yeah, distraction is available, but still low on Elixir. Oh, P.E.K.K.A 2. Make that 3.
It's going to finish the tower. He couldn't really do anything. If you don't get that distraction down in time, you've just got to let the P.E.K.K.A swing on your tower.
And you only had the bats to go for when he had 2 Elixir. He has to have a not that he has to have, but with the mini P.E.K.K.A, with the bowler, it's going to be hard to defend. Not enough Elixir at the time for Legend.
Baby Dragon does decide to go for the barrel. Just a bit of chip, a couple of swings, and that takes that tower. And now we're all even again. But here comes the balloon. Expect the freeze to come down in 2, 1.
Lightning. The big spell from Kenzamushi will take care of most of the things other than the bowler. Still the P.E.K.K.A. Great counter against the bowler. I would say it doesn't get pushed back either.
Kenzamushi will take that trade every day. He expended that 6 Elixir. But once you get rid of that balloon and the freeze comes down and does absolutely nothing, that is what you want to see as Kenzamushi. That is a phenomenal hold on that lightning and using it as the freeze comes
the
down.
heal spirit. Perfect timing, keeping everything up to par. Oh, Legend in trouble. Here comes the Hog Rider again.
There's arrows to take care of
Cage.
the bats.
Had to be dropped down right in front. Trying on Elixir.
Still a great defense here from Legend. Took no damage from that very scary push that was all healed back up with that heal spirit.
The main problem for Legend is that there are lots of single target, and that lightning is going to hurt that balloon most of the time unless something crazy happens.
He's going to have to try and find a spot in Kenzamushi's cycle where he spends a little bit too much Elixir on something like a P.E.K.K.A. And then he won't be able to afford the lightning. That is the only way he's going to be able to get that significant damage in with the balloon freeze, because otherwise lightning is just going to shut that down.
There's that second P.E.K.K.A. Pocket P.E.K.K.A. and Legend ready in time. Heal Spirit to back it up. P.E.K.K.A. still really strong. Going no other ground defense for Legend.
Yeah, and the Hog Rider comes in, has to use the freeze, but it doesn't catch everything. Lightning comes down, cleans up that Baby Dragon. It looks as though this is going to be 2-0 to Kenzamushi.
Hog was there, and the Night Witch almost locks on the bats. And with the remaining arrows plus the lightning, Kenzamushi is just going to finish this game up. Legend still over 2,000 to go. Does not have the speed, can't use the balloon.
Yeah, Kenzamushi capitalized. We're talking as if this is over, but it practically is. 19 remains. Unless
the perfect freeze.
He used the lightning to defend there with the arrows. There we go, finally. Holding on there. So, Legend expended a lot. Balloon, freeze. That's a lot of elixir spent. So what did Kenzamushi do? Alright, what have you got to stop my P.E.K.K.A? You have nothing.
Yep.
Sends the P.E.K.K.A down, and it just cleared that tower way too quickly.
And those arrows, not just the Executioner, which is also great against Skeleton Barrel and the Bats. Just in case the Executioner misses onto those targets. Yeah, that pocket P.E.K.K.A sealed a lot of doors for Legend.
Yeah, the Heal Spirit coming in clutch again. The freeze was down, but once that lightning came out and cleared out that Baby Dragon, it was basically over. Nothing you could really do for Legend. So he goes down 0-2 in the triple draft again.
Yep, also one of the spell that's really good against the cage, gets the cage, and also the Brawler with that lightning. Yeah, so Kenzamushi, another deck was certainly a great choice in not just in spell, but in deck making. Bowler actually, until this game, having one of the highest win rate in triple draft in Clash Royale League East right now, around 63%, I believe. But with that game, I think it goes down to near 50, like 54, 55-ish.
Depends how you work on numbers, I guess. My math is not good enough for that. Okay, triple draft done. No need to think about it in this match anymore. The 1v1 sets. Who do you want to see? What would be your dream matchup for these two teams?
For Fav,
do you want to see Benzer versus Jack or Benzer versus Expo Master?
It depends.
Versus
the King of the Hill started with Jack, so I think keeping that, maybe moving Donny to the 5th just in case the match does finish with before we're going to set 5. Maybe Jack Expo Donny. I think that is actually not bad.
Who do you want to see go against each other? What would be your dream matchup?
So Benzer Jack.
Benzer Jack, Ice Law Expo?
Ice Law Expo or Onion Expo. That's tough.
Well, this is the thing about Kicks. Onion is on fire.
Yes, in record he proves it.
Ice Law is a walking inferno at this point. And Benzer didn't start the season very well. This playoff season, he has been on an absolute tear. He almost all-killed WEDGM. He got 2 wins against TT Gaming. The guy is unstoppable. He beat D-King in TTG, but did lose to Solomon in the second stage of the winners bracket. The team is on fire. If you got a choice between Benzer, Ice Law, and Onion, those are 3 incredible players. Fav Gaming, on the other hand, they have Expo Master and Jack, who are on fire. But who else is there for them? Donny, Kitashian.
Kitashian is also a good shout. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of these players, along with WEDGM, who's waiting at the finals, the top record players. So, yeah. Maybe Kitashian, if you really want to throw your opponent off, all their studies out the window.
But then, Kicks could even throw in JTV, who, looking at the team, I think he was there for the 2v2 because he was 2v2 for Chaos Theory and his old team. So bringing him into this team makes sense when 2v2 eventually returns.
Who
if
is
it
going
returns.
to be Benzer back in action right after that 3, not right after, but with a short break after that King of the Hill. And from Fav Gaming, it is going to be
Jack. Alrighty then.
Alright, that's the incredible matchup that we are going to have.
Jack versus Benzer. So before this year, Jack had the upper hand in every match against Benzer. Benzer, the last time when they played each other in the regular season, went on Twitter and was like, man, I finally beat you. Good games. It finally happened.
Offensive log.
And today he's already beat him. He's already beat him once today. Can he do it at least 2 more times? We're going to find out.
Let's see. I mean, Jack did bring down KK 2-0. And he looked incredible with a lot of different decks.
Dark Prince and the Snowball. This could be the Graveyard Giant that we've seen so much today.
Knight can still be Wallbreaker Knight Hunter. That we have seen a couple of times last week, especially from China. And an Expo!
Jack bringing the 2.6, I'm assuming right now. And there is the Giant from Benzer. Expect the Night Witch to come out relatively soon. Unless this Musketeer connects into the tower, which it's going to. This might be critical damage down that right-hand side with the Brawler as well. Tornado pulls him into the King Tower.
Was waiting for that activation.
But look at the damage. 1656.
Yeah, Benzer says good game, but because he's got that Giant, the big body blocker, and the Musketeer is going to make short work of that Expo most of the time.
Well, look at the cards played so far from Benzer. Giant, Goblin Cage, Dark Prince. All three of those are very, very good at acting as bodies against the Expo. When this pops, expect the Giant to come out and doesn't decide to protect his Musketeer here. Arrows to finish that up. And just finishing that there. And all clear.
Yeah, Jack has to have perfect, amazing game-changing tornadoes in order to bring this with maximum survival of Ice Wizard.
So it is the Ice Bow version, not 2.6. Just jot that down. Ice Bow. So we've seen quite a bit of this Giant Night Witch Graveyard deck. I think it was first played by WEDGM a couple of weeks ago, and now everyone seems to be enjoying this deck. Because this is the second time it's come out. Rocket.
Yeah, you want to get that after the shield on the Dark Prince. Problem would be the Expo.
Can Benzer get back around to a Giant before this Expo cracks?
Yeah, he does have it. He just wants to line it up perfectly so that his push can actually happen even after getting the Expo down.
The Brawler was almost going into no man's land, going against that tower, but was
Oh.
pulled back. Just a couple of hits there. Very minor connection on that Expo for Jack. Now Benzer has an uphill climb. Is he going to be able to get through the Tesla and the Expo with a Giant Graveyard?
Yeah, with a defensive position, he sort of know that one big play is going to happen from Benzer. So Jack going on defensive mode with that Tesla positioning.
Yeah, Musketeer perfectly placed to be able to snipe away that Tesla. And again, no Graveyard played for Benzer. He is being incredibly patient. There is the offensive Expo.
Okay, buying time with the Cage. Then the Giant placed right before the Musketeer.
Has to make sure he has that body. I think he wants to try and keep this Dark Prince alive and use that for the tank of the Graveyard, but I don't think that is going to happen now. Arrows comes in to finish off that Expo. And slowly but surely, Jack is taking an advantage, and as we get down into this last minute, every point of HP on a tower matters. 1656 against 1837. All Jack needs is one good connection. With the rocket, that definitely puts a very big stress on Benzer's deck. Is he going to ever be able to throw down the Graveyard?
That Knight buys some time, and that here's the Graveyard from Benzer, but with the King Tower activation, the Skeleton's not that strong.
Yeah, Tesla as well. Still, 1291. Here is your Giant. Where is the Expo in cycle? Going down the opposite side, but there are so many bodies standing on that right-hand side. I don't think it's ever going to connect. Goblin Cage just to distract a little bit longer. Another naked Graveyard. Oh, nothing! There's nothing to stop that cage. The cage pops.
And with the rocket, Expo continues to do damage. Long Jack is going to finish with 12 seconds left on the clock. Benzer came close with the Graveyard, but with that early King Tower activation with the Tornado and the Mega Defense from Jack was going to be a rough game.
Once that Goblin Cage popped, he needed to throw down another body. Didn't have the elixir, or didn't have a body to throw down. And once you get a big connection like that, when you're down to the death throes of a game, it's real hard.
There was one big catch in the middle where Benzer was trying to get that Tesla with the Musketeer, but there was a block with the Knight from Jack, which was read perfectly. Drew all the units coming down from the bridge and also blocked the Musketeer shot, which kept the Expo alive a lot more.
So right here, there is nothing once this goes down. There's 4 elixir. He could have put down the Dark Prince. Could have put down maybe the Goblin.
I
just didn't have what he...
Yeah, Benzer at that moment, it was going to be rough, so had all-in attack onto the right. It was now going to be never because the rocket kept on coming down from Jack's side. So that's one. See, Jack not bringing that Sparky along with that Expo. I like it so far. One day I'm gonna turn 100 years old, and I'll still remember that Jack played Expo Sparky.
I'm telling you, man, that was a misclick. That was a misclick. All right, game 1 goes to Jack. Benzer with the. I mean, I like that matchup for Benzer, but it is an incredibly difficult matchup.
Yeah, the control is extremely hard. It's either you keep that Musketeer alive or the Tesla alive. And when you have that big, with the Brawler, even if you take some damage, Graveyard, when that King Tower is up, it sort of loses power.
It does lose a lot of power, and that Tornado to bring that Goblin Brawler into the tower was just a little bit too much. So Jack takes game 1. Game 2 is coming up. Do you think Jack is going to 2-0 here and take Fav Gaming to match point, or are you expecting Benzer to come back kicking and screaming in this one?
So with the mind game after the Expo, do you go for? So Jack has been bringing a lot of these classic deck, I would say, going all the way back to like 2-3 years, like the P.E.K.K.A, the Battle Ram, Expo now, even some of those Tesla, along with the Giant, Fob, the entire team. Their player seems to be going like all retro type, the retro Clash Royale and it still works actually. Works pretty well. You can sort of squeeze into the meta and find an okay spot. Doesn't always work, but they're finding the right time to do so.
All right, and we are back in this one. Will Benzer bring mortar? Will he bring something like the Hog Rider, the 3.0 Hog Rider that he has been doing, or the 2.9? Or will Jack take the victory here with another Ice Bow deck?
Or does he go off with his favorite, the Wall Breaker Miner with an MK or the Bomb Tower? Even with some Magic Archer.
Skeletons, Firecracker. This could be Royal Giant. This could be Royal Hogs.
Or the Hog.
Or even the Hog Rider. Or literally anything. With the Heal Spirit, though, this looks as though it's going to be RG.
The RG with the minions or the cart to push through with the heal. We're looking for some more spam.
There is the RG played. And Jack has enough for a Tesla. So it is going to be Expo again from Jack here. And with the Royal Giant, I think this might make it a very difficult match for him. Because it doesn't even matter if you activate the King Tower anymore. Plus, this Firecracker is getting quite a bit of chip damage in.
Yeah, with the EQ, it will certainly be a lot tougher for Jack to keep his buildings up there.
Unless Benzer has bought something other than an EQ, he might have bought something like a Poison. It would be very rare that we would see that. There is the chance of him not bringing EQ.
Yeah, Delivery EQ, I think those two are the common spells that we look for when we come down to the list of Benzer. There's that EQ.
The EQ, yep. So Benzer has probably a big smile on his face right now, knowing that
King Tower
has
activation.
the tools he needs.
RG certainly the right
pickup here. Heal Spirit to pump that RG's health back up there. Rocket coming in just to get a bit of chip damage in. 1859. So relatively even now. Both players with about the same amount of damage. Are we going to see the Royal Giant come in? There is the Royal Giant. Is the cannon cart going to get pushed into the tower?
So Jack placing that Ice Wizard onto the right, and a great pull with that tornado again.
And Heal Spirit.
Oh, healing it, everything back up.
Yeah, he got so much healing value there, and the cannon cart, I think, is in range.
Not yet, but with the still with the push, I don't think it's in range.
Oh, it's just shy, ever so slightly shy from the range of that tower, but Benzer has the advantage here. Rocket comes down, doesn't even get both minions and the Heal Spirit. Luckily, the damage on that was enough for the Royal Giant to go down without a hit.
But Benzer does save a lot of elixir with that trade. Jack does defend it, but uses a lot of elixir, so with a big push, Jack might be going dry on elixir very soon. That's why the RG is really safe.
Another great Heal Spirit there. And more chip damage coming through with the Firecracker onto that tower.
Is there, but few shots are chipping in with the Firecracker damage onto the Ice Wizard.
This is Benzer's game to lose right now. Okay, the Expo connects into the cannon cart. Heal Spirit heals everything back up again. I thought the tornado was going to be enough to kill it, but I don't think this is enough. I think Benzer is going to take this one. 1-2-2, final shot. Benzer takes game 2 with RG card with the Heal Spirit. That Heal Spirit, I have never seen a Heal Spirit get that much healing in, even when your opponent has the lot. What on earth is that Heal Spirit made of?
So I think Heal Spirit, what on earth? 1 elixir. Hey, 1 elixir cost heals a lot more than 1 elixir, as we can see at that moment. Is the highlight that you mentioned.
Just so much, and it happened time and time again. That Heal Spirit was just getting the heal work done. That one was super important. Here, no elixir, but you know, it's a Firecracker, sure, but nothing left over to defend this. The tornado trying to pull it back. Unfortunately, the Expo doesn't pull. The RG, the logs are thrown out, literally everything in the kitchen sink to try and keep it away.
Yeah, way too far off. Jack wanted that to be away so that the earthquake doesn't hit the tower along with that Expo. He was basically forced to put the Expo all the way to the left. There was no other choice, or else he's just going to lose with the chip spell damage.
But then he had nothing to distract the RG, and he was going to lose anyway.
Yeah,
it was
only
like
the
being in a
Tesla.
rock and a hard place.
But still, right before that, his defense with the rocket, missing the minions, had to put a lot more elixir down. The Firecracker cannon cart combination made it very, very tough. Had to always put something down against the cannon cart so it doesn't get the damage onto the Princess Tower.
But then the Firecracker behind can get the splash damage on the tower.
So the defensive position for Jack was always locked up to the corner.
Yeah.
When the building had to be towards the center, but there's that EQ. So great deck choice, I would say, from Benzer, knowing that he might actually play Expo twice, because Expo deck's still on top of ladder. Still, lots of players actually playing Expo because they just tick down to the time and.
Well,
everyone knows space defense, we know.
Everyone knows Lemon Tree on the old ladder, the guy who's always up there with an Expo deck.
Yes, that's true. Expo's still good.
It's such a classic. It's timeless.
And then just when you're behind just by a couple hundred, big rocket, you win.
It hurts. It hurts. Not a big fan of Expo.
It's rough.
I love watching Expo matches, but I cannot play Expo for love or money. I don't have the patience.
With this many Hog Rider and EQ, we imagined we would see a lot less Expo, but it's still up there.
It's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't exist.
What do you mean?
This is your daily reminder to delete Expo. Okay, we're going into game 3. Benzer versus Jack. The winner of this is going to put their team 2-1 up and give them match point for the rest of this match. What are we going to see? Benzer in blue at the bottom for kicks. Fav, Jack in red at the top. And Skeletons and Heal Spirit, it might be the same. Cannon Cart, Firecracker, Royal Giant deck for Benzer. But what is Jack bringing?
Can certainly be... Or Benzer can go back to his cage version. skeleton bats with arrows. Yeah, Benzer. That's literally what we were thinking. Okay, here's a cage.
Balloon coming in.
Yeah.
Is that cage going to be enough? Hoping this push works. Doesn't, but it's going to keep it out of range. Heal Spirit as well. Applying a little bit of damage. Minions, shut that down before it gets close.
Yeah, there was a lot of elixirs down there for Benzer. And Jax, even though the balloon didn't reach the tower, he's happy about that trade.
Bats in to defend that. Firecracker against Musketeer. This seems to be the classic matchup now of this season. Firecracker versus Musketeer. And Zap to zap that away, because nobody wants a Firecracker anywhere near the towers, especially when your opponent is playing Royal Giant.
Yeah, Benzer throwing down the spell because he needs the chip right now against the air, against the balloon. He does have minions, but oftentimes it's gonna come down with the arrows.
Yeah, with the against the balloon, he does have the delivery. The delivery is really good. You want to delay the minions as much as possible. The Firecracker can help. The Goblin Cage can pull it. So he does have tools to defend, but he has to make sure he has all those tools in hand at the same time. But you want to be aggressive as well, so you want to spend some of those tools. And that is the window that Jack is going to look for here. He has to find a part where his opponent cannot do it, and the P.E.K.K.A.
With the P.E.K.K.A, that's exactly what Fob has brought even last time. That's what Benzer was waiting for, to test it if it's P.E.K.K.A or not. And talk about your nightmare. Got arrow against the Firecracker and the minions together.
But the Royal Delivery plus Skeletons are going to help clean up that P.E.K.K.A. And here is the RG. No
Lumberjack.
second P.E.K.K.A. Lumberjack is there. Heal Spirit in the back is going to get a big heal there. It's just one hit, though.
So Jack Balloon, yes, using the rage. He knows that Benzer used a lot.
Cage is there to pull. Arrows down on the Firecracker. Delivery. Is it going to be a minion? No need. Both towers helping each other out. Skeletons in the middle to pull everything. That Goblin Brawler is going to die here, but there is the P.E.K.K.A against the Royal Giant. Big heals coming through. One hit. Oh, two hits. Two big Royal Giant hits there. 1, 2, 3, 0 remaining. This is edge of your seat stuff.
One big balloon push can change things. But Benzer keep on pressuring with that RG, not going to let that happen, making sure that Firecracker goes down with the arrows immediately after.
Benzer smartly doesn't play the heal spirit there, knowing he might need that one elixir against the balloon. Very smart play not doing it there. There is the delivery to push the balloon back, but the thing is, there's a lot connected onto the P.E.K.K.A. Is anything going to stop this balloon?
The cage doesn't pull!
Ooh, if it got that second drop, that would have been huge, but 540 remain. Advantage for Jack. Now the RG is there. Earthquake comes in. A bit of chip, one hit. Okay, ball back in Benzer's court. How is he going to be able to defend this balloon? The minions are there. There's the arrows.
Arrow, dry on elixir. Benzer's out of elixirs. Has the cage to pull out with the rage. And 32, that's in the death damage. Also the zap to finish up. Jack is going to take this set number 3 away from Benzer.
All that pressure Benzer put on from beginning to end of that match just was not enough. Jack exploited windows. He knew, okay, you don't have this in your hand, I'm going to play this. You don't have this, I'm going to play this. Benzer tried to do the same. You don't have P.E.K.K.A in your hand, my Royal Giant's going to come out, and that's where the damage started getting done. But here, there's nothing. Everything is locked on that P.E.K.K.A. The minions are locked on that P.E.K.K.A. The tower is locked on that P.E.K.K.A. The balloon had no competition in the air. And knowing that, that is how Jack broke that window.
Waited for that Lumberjack timing to pair up with the Rage. Make sure that balloon can at least get some death damage. So before that time, Benzer wanted to push maximum. Keep on pressuring with that RG, making sure the Earthquake at least do some damage with the slow onto the Musketeer. But at the end, yeah, Jack saving up, taking some little sacrifices for one mega big push on the balloon, certainly did lead into a connection.
As soon as everything connected on that P.E.K.K.A, Jack was like, balloon, go, go, go,
Yes.
go take that tower. Because if you don't know, P.E.K.K.As have a lot of HP.
And the attack damage too.
So, I mean, you're not going to finish that quick enough. And even if that Goblin Cage pulled, I still think there might have been chance for a drop. it would have been very close.
Yep, it was.
I'm
Yeah,
just
with
trying to
the rage, yeah, the anti-air from Benzer didn't really work, especially when the minions were gone from the offensive arrow from Jack. Yeah, great spell again. Since we're seeing a suddenly rise on spell use of that arrow because of Firecracker. Firecracker goes in with so many good pairing. Until last week, RG Firecracker had a massive win rate, about 70%, because we didn't really have too many arrows out there. But look what we have today.
The meta adapts. Life finds a way.
Mm-hmm.
Life finds a way to shut down Firecrackers. Okay, we're going to get into set 4. It is 2-1 to FAV Gaming. If FAV win one more, they go to the grand final against WEDGM. If Kicks win the next one, we're going to go down to a 5th and final set between these two teams where it will finish 3-2 again.
So it's a big stress moment right now for Kicks, and I think we're lining down to Ice Law or Onion.
I don't think it could be anyone else.
Yeah, Ice Law or Onion, I think they have the highest chance. I think 4th spot, Ice Law, I would say, for Kicks, and Expo for FAV. Highest chance.
I don't know. I
for
think
2 players.
I think Kicks might bring Onion because Onion has been playing phenomenally lately.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking very, very solid. So I think that is a very good shout. I think Onion could be there. Ice Law, if they think that they're not going to be able to win with Onion, it is going to be Onion. Who is his opponent here?
So from FAV Gaming, it is Expo Master. As we
Okay.
expected.
Expo Master has a chance to shut this down. He could take the win for his team and prove once again that he is FAV's savior. But Onion is on an absolute hot streak right now. The guy is not losing games. Can he be the one to keep Kicks in this and take us to a 5th and final set?
Onion's Graveyard Dex has been absolute terror. Lots and lots of win with the cycle with the common 3. You still come out with a win. R2 RG, 2 Graveyard, 1 with the Cage or MK, 2 Wall Breakers. Keeping a lot of wins for yourself. And the Dark Goblin combination.
So in terms of win rates, Expo Master has 69%, Onion has 100%. So the ball is in Onion's favor, but I mean, Expo Master has played a lot more games.
Yeah.
These two have not met each other in the regular season this year.
Seems like this is 2.5 from Expo Master with the Bomb Tower. And an extra spell.
So it is going to be that Graveyard with the Giant, I assume, from Onion. Miner comes in. Anything to answer this? Nothing to catch it. That Skeleton. Gotta think of that Larry.
The delivery immediately onto that Dark Prince.
And look at the placement for Expo Master on that Dark Goblin. Always play it behind the tower. Make it difficult for your opponent to spell it away when you're playing against the Graveyard, because you don't want to activate the King Tower.
4 shots into the tower again. And yeah, even if you have arrows, yeah, you do get that Dark Goblin, but when you're concerned about the bats even in the front or the skeleton, you need to consume that arrow for extra defense on the bridge.
All right, there is the Giant. Miner played at the front. Nothing to catch it again here. The Giant's going to push it out, though, so not as much damage as could have been. There is the Night Witch, and the Bomb Tower comes down from Expo Master. Graveyard is down.
Yeah, better timing with those arrows. Now the skeletons are going to do some chip damage.
But the Wall Breakers, too, coming down that left-hand side. There is
Ready
the
with the
Cage.
kick.
But look at the damage getting done there. 762. Almost in the blink of an eye, those skeletons surround that tower and do insane damage. Night Witch catches the Miner, but these Wall Breakers are going to connect.
Just one with an arrow damage. The second one does go down with the help of the Dark Prince from Onion's side. So in the trade, Expo Master not too happy about that one.
But look at the damage on that top left. That Brawler went to work uncontested. 1176 as well. But it doesn't matter. This might just be a 1 tower game as we enter sudden death. 10 seconds remaining. 695. Are we going to see that Graveyard come out? There it is. Does Expo Master have the tools to defend this?
Does have the log and then incoming delivery after. The Dark Goblin this time it is saved with the delivery.
Yeah, the Giant isn't going to get a push, but still some damage getting done. 3, 9, 7. Doesn't have a big spell to finish it off, though. And a back connects to the tower. Skeletons there, 402. And with this,
the Dark Goblin connects. That's it. With 2 remaining HP.
He has to stop this miner.
Perfect miner defense. Does not come in time for Onion. That is it. The Dark Goblin slips. 4 shots, 400 exactly. And Expo Master brings it home.
2 HP remaining. If Onion had have won that, that would have been probably the greatest finish to a match that doesn't come down to a tiebreaker. It would have required sheer strength of will. Onion would have had to John Wick the rest of that game and doesn't have to.
Yeah, pulling out shots everywhere, making sure it goes into... Yeah, it becomes a headshot. It was a rough game for Expo Master. Even if he had the delivery and the log against the Graveyard and incoming Giant, it can be a rough.
Yeah, that one skeleton is underrated. It got so much work done while the miner was tanking, but look at that. In an eye, pretty much deleted. This push could have worked, but now what does Onion do? The Dark Goblin is one of the scariest things. The wall breakers need to be dealt with.
Yep.
That's what the Goblin Cage is for.
That log.
The bat as well was there, just getting work done. I mean, there's nothing here. Log would have finished it. Miner, even if it was caught, I don't think Onion could have done.
Yeah, with an incoming log, it was going to be GG. But Dark Goblin saving against the Graveyard. Dark Goblin lover, personally.
It's such a good card.
Yeah, we talked about Dark Goblin a lot back when we had 2v2. It actually came to, because we had a lot of the Giant Skeleton RG, or even along with those Graveyard Freeze, the Dark Goblin became the savior card for a lot of teams. Yep, it works in this sort of a meta. Sometimes you bring Musketeers. If they don't work, you bring Archers. Or if they don't work, bring that Dark Goblin.
Yeah, and I mean, it is super important when you're going against a Graveyard with a deck like Expo Master had to keep the Dark Goblin alive as long as possible against the Graveyard. That's why you always put it behind the tower. You don't want it to be arrowed out. You don't want it to be fireballed. You don't want any of that nonsense because he shoots so quickly, he can clear a Graveyard pretty damn quick.
Yeah, and then Expo Master just used the wall breaker to just open up the cage, make sure that goes into the Brawler comes out, and then Night Witch locks on with the push of that log. So at the last moment when the Dark Goblin connected did 4 shots, he had all that calculated before it happened. So props to Expo Master for that first game. But still, game 2 awaits. Now, what does Onion have for us?
If I knew that,
you'd be pro.
I'd be a pro.
Maybe
think,
not.
I don't know
Let's
what.
go back to his own version of Wallbreaker. I mean, Onion had some excellent games with his own Wallbreaker decks.
He could go for the Graveyard deck with the Mega Knight instead. Onion played that last week and played it flawlessly.
Even, RG Firecracker was one of his excellent just last week against WDGM.
Here we are. There is the Goblin Cage. Against a Musketeer.
Yep. Both cards.
This could be the last game of the losers bracket final. If Expo Master takes this, it will be 2-0 and make it 3-1 for Fav Gaming in these finals. But with the Lumberjack, with the Loon, Onion is looking to bring his team back into this, and that is going to be a very healthy connection.
Uncontested! That's tower gone, ladies and gentlemen. Expo Master. Nothing else following up.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much to defend, and that is a problem when you are playing this giant Graveyard deck. Your options against balloons are very, very, very limited.
You need to get that cage, drag, and to keep that Musketeer alive. That's the key for the deck, making sure your giant is okay and healthy.
Arrows coming in. And there is. Okay, so Lumberloon from Onion already got a tower down. 1 minute 30 left. if you're Expo Master, do you think you can get this back? It is a graveyard deck, most likely. And we all know how explosive graveyard decks can be. If you mistime your defense by even half a second, you lose a tower.
But this is a deck from Onion that an Expo Master cannot really get too much worth from those arrows. So it's going to be rough regardless pushing through.
Yeah, that Musketeer raged up, cleans everything out. Look at that. Making light work of a Giant, making light work of a Dart Prince, making light work of the Night Witch. That Musketeer deserves a medal at this point.
Yep, Onion saving that balloon in his hand. You can cycle through super quickly.
Yeah, but he doesn't need the balloon.
Oh, there's
this
a
is
left.
the thing. He doesn't need to play the balloon. There is no need to get greedy. There is the
That's
Ice
right.
Golem. There is the log. Bats come in to defend. Arrow's going to try to clean that up, but the Lumberjack comes back and rescues the day again.
That snowball just to keep it steady because he has the extra elixir. He does not want to go reach for that extra balloon push. If he had timing, I think he would have already done that to the left.
Down to the last 20 seconds. Onion looks as though he is more than comfortable just holding on, just trying his darndest to just take no damage from these graveyards. Bats coming in to take out the Giant. There are the arrows.
5 seconds.
It's not going to be enough. These skeletons cannot get that much damage done. Surely, match over. That game goes towards Onion. Game 2 going the way of Kicks. It is still on. Kicks can still come back. If Game 3 goes Onion's way, we go down to a 5th and final set. Expo Master has that game match set point. Will he be able to do it?
Onion is insane. To have that Musketeer down, okay. Anti-air, only bats from the Night Witch. I know what deck this is, 100%. I have the Lumberjack paired up. I have the Rage. I have the balloon in my hand. This is the time to go.
Yeah, knowing...
It seems risky, but it was actually low risk for Onion to take there.
Look at the rest of the cards in that deck. What else shoots up? There's the Night Witch bats, the Musketeer.
Only the cage to drag, basically.
But with that Dart Prince coming down, he didn't have the elixir to play that, so he just... It made sense what Expo Master was doing. He was going for that push. He was like, okay, there's a lot built up here. I don't know what my opponent really has right now. It doesn't look like anything. I don't think he's got the balloon in cycle. I don't think he's got it in hand.
Yeah, so these are... So, the first card you play, literally. Oftentimes, because the Musketeer walks pretty slow and you have the Giant, so maybe I can pair this up. And I'm leaking elixir, so let's just put that down. And then, all of a sudden, you don't have a Musketeer. Your good anti-air defense is gone. And then suddenly your opponent just take advantage of that. That was games. That does happen sometimes.
With that deck, first play Musketeer is a very risky move because of that.
Yeah, when you just see a cage, but you don't exactly know if it's going to be the balloon or
Royal Giant.
or anything else basically with the cage. Graveyard, Royal Giant,
Royal Hogs, Hog Rider,
Hog Riders,
Miner. I mean, literally everything.
Yes.
Goblin Cage does
many.
not show your deck, and that is why it's actually kind of popular in this kind of tournament, is because it is that first, if you get it in your opening hand...
Yeah, you can save up that elixir in your field.
It's an investment. And your opponent has zero idea of what you're playing. Even if you put Bats, Goblin Cage, Skeletons down, your opponent literally thinks, okay, it's probably one of 4 decks.
Yeah, maybe some cheaper cycle with those Skeletons and Bats, but still you don't really know. So it's a mystery. And right there, Onion chose the perfect right time. Yeah, and the Lumberjack against the Giant, it's pretty good. The attack speed is really fast. Even against the Skeletons on the Graveyard, also a good tool. So great deck choice. We're certainly seeing some more Balloon Lumberjack today.
Okay, so it is down to this. Onion has Kicks' fate in his hands. He could take us to that game 5, but Expo Master equally could take us to that grand final now if he can beat Onion in this 3rd and final game of set 4.
Yeah, top 1 game away from reaching the grand final against WEDGM. Magic Archer.
Is
it
gonna
the
be
Royal?
Hogs? Yeah, you really want that Magic Archer to survive there.
No, you really want that delivery to come down. But deliveries always take time, man.
Yep. Say that to the guy who delivered my my keyboard the other day. 20 minutes late. I was furious.
Hunter, another great defensive tool.
Yep, especially with the Baby Dragon in here. With the Baby Dragon, E-Wiz, what are you thinking, G-Clef? With the P.E.K.K.A?
Yeah, we're going down that route.
Which route? Which route are we going down,
The
G-Clef?
spam route with the Ram Rider potential. With an EQ. See, the delivery comes. And delivery also pretty good against the P.E.K.K.A. Can stall a good time. And the damage is actually really good on delivery, too.
Yeah, with that 27% buff it received the other day. We saw on Twitter that they were asked, like, possibly a 10% reduction nerf.
Yeah, or the...
Realistically, that would probably be more of a 12% because it's based on the new value, not the old value. There are the Hogs.
The Hogs with the heal. And the Ram Rider on the left, but the Hunter's ready for that defense.
Snowball, but the heal spirit still comes through. Look at the damage these Hogs are doing. Baby Dragon cannot deal with them quick enough.
Hunter perfect placement and timing. Such a great defensive card, especially on that single target. So having that snowball to push that Hunter out will be the key, or anything else to block those bullets.
Just to buy time. The Magic Archer could always come into this. We know the power of an offensive Magic Archer. There is the barrel to distract the Dark Prince while the P.E.K.K.A. and the E-Wiz try and take it out, but the Earthquake comes down to just slow down the attacks of that P.E.K.K.A.
And the slows actually let those Royal Hogs do some more damage. Now the Magic Archer all the way onto the right to get some piercing shots, potential even into the P.E.K.K.A. Great delivery timing right there.
Yeah, this Ram Rider isn't going to get much damage done to a tower at all. It's trying to take out the Magic Archer, but it doesn't. An advantage is very much in Expo Master's favor. There are just a few seconds left. Earthquake is there. Is this going to be enough? And it is. Expo Master takes FUV Gaming to the grand finals of CRLE Special Season. FUV Gaming are the losers bracket winners. They are guaranteed at least second place. Kicks played a phenomenal tournament. Nobody expected them to get this far. They finish in third.
Yeah, Kicks.
What a match.
Again in the semifinal, just like the end of 2019. In history, even in 2018, they were finishing in groups. They did not even go into the playoff too many times. Yeah, being in the lower part of the Southeast Asia, but certainly they have improved over the years, finishing third. I mean, this season is an achievement.
Last season for Kicks, they had IMJP,
Pedro,
and Pedro, who are now in CRL West. Team Queso, I think it's Shivas for JP. That was great. This new Kicks team is also super strong. Just congratulations to Kicks on finishing third. We'll be back relatively soon with the grand final between WEDGM and FUV Gaming. Stay tuned for that one. You will not want to miss it. And welcome back, everyone, to the finals of Clash Royale League East Special Season. You've seen the trophy, you've seen the teams. Fav Gaming just took kicks down to match against WEDGM here in the grand finals. It has been 8 whole weeks of Clash Royale competition. We are left with the 2 final teams, WEDGM, who have already beaten Fav Gaming in a best of 5 in the playoffs, against Fav, who just took out Kicks, who were looking unstoppable.
Usually what happens, even against Ponos, Fav did the same, was basically down 0-3 against KK, but took 2-3-4, immediately 1-3. Same situation against Kicks. Just now, I think their key player right now is actually Kenzamushi, and then following that pattern up with Jack and Expo 1v1. It's been a pattern like that for Fav, but against WEDGM, it has been the opposite. They would actually lose. Yeah, Fav actually bringing that King of the Hill. Also weakness of WEDGM for oftentimes, and also triple draft, and then WEDGM 1v1. That has been the story for a lot of their matches. So it does collide when they collide in together. The final clash, let's see what happens in the grand finals.
Yeah, the last time these two met, Jack all killed WEDGM in that King of the Hill. Kenzamushi swept Solomon in the triple draft. And then
the 1v1s happened.
And it was a massacre. We had Solomon beat Donny 2-1. We had Higher beat Expo Master 2-1. And then we had Peas beat Jack 2-1. Now, are we going to see the same again? I'm not sure. I don't think WEDGM will lose a King of the Hill, but they have yet to win one in this playoff. They always lose the King of the Hill.
And who do they use in what order? How many times does Peas actually come out? Does he come out in the King of the Hill or 1v1? And Wonga, the same situation. Does he come out in King of the Hill or the 1v1? Usually we do have Higher Solomon playing both of those matches, and Higher oftentimes going into that King triple draft. I think that one's easier to predict, but everything else is up to a question. Fav Gaming, they've had sort of the same roster situation, usually Jack going first, and then the Expo Master to seal it up with Donny in the middle. So I think in terms of prediction of the order of the roster, for active roster for the day, it's somewhat easier for WEDGM to prepare, and also they got to see all the decks that were played already.
Yeah.
I think that's a very big advantage going into the finals.
And just to remind you, there is no need to reset the bracket here. The winner of this match will take that trophy you saw standing on that podium. It doesn't matter if Fav win. If Fav win, they do not have to beat WEDGM again. That was something that a lot of people were asking about. It is just a straight next final match between these two teams.
There's no double elimination anymore. I think that was the big question. It is just one best of 5, and winner becomes the champion of the season. Yeah, WEDGM in history. I mean, when Nova was there in China, they were always being second, or even against LGD, third in 2019 spring. Nova back-to-back in the playoff, 2-3, 2-3, also second. But Nova's not here anymore, and then WEDGM, can they finally become the first place from China, not just in China, in the entire East? That's going to be a big mark for them if they win today.
So these are the two key players here, Higher and Jack. You can see Higher has a much better win percentage ratio than Jack. The story of Fav Gaming is basically, is Jack going to turn up, and then is Expo Master going to turn up? Those two have been the stalwarts of this team. Kenzamushi obviously shows up every time in triple draft. The guy is really good at that draft mode. But it depends on if Jack and Expo Master, and we're talking about the losers bracket, stamina comes into effect. This is going to be their second match of the day for Fav Gaming. But then, is that going to be their advantage? Are they going to have the hot hands? Are they going to be warmed up from beating Kicks? Is that good momentum going to be within them to go on and beat WEDGM, who are coming into this cold?
We'll see all of those questions answered in just a moment. We have Wonga from WEDGM and Jack to start us off. Bob, seems like we're going Jack Donny Expo Master route for King of the Hill.
They could throw in Kitashian in the middle of there. That has been something they've done a few times. They very rarely, as you saw on the win-loss ratio before, throw in Kenzamushi into that spot. So players just, we've got to think about it. Is WEDGM going to come into this playing well, or are they going to be a bit cold to start off with and need that warm-up time that we've seen time and time again, which is why they lose the King of the Hill? But we're into this one. Spear Goblins at the bridge, straight into the night. It is Jack against Wonga.
Again, Expo from Jack, let's see, and Wonga.
Not with the bats.
Yeah, maybe not with the bats. And Wonga has been playing a lot of RG. The Spear Goblin, Cage, Heal Spirit. Still some chances.
Minor wall breaker here from Jack, and the Goblin Cage comes in to save the day. And it is Royal Hogs from Wonga. Split 3-1, but Bomb Tower from Jack is going to be a great answer to the Royal Hogs. Everything cleaned up. Towers, next to no damage getting done. 300 for Jack, but that's nothing to write home about. So both players feeling each other out, finding what their cycle is going to be, how they can break said cycle. Flying Machine played at the back, Spear Goblins at the bridge, Heal Spirit is there, and just another spear going into that tower.
Yeah, the final will be the EQ for Wonga, and also Jack seems like with the Knight 2.8 with sometimes poison and log.
Royal Hogs again, this time sprint 2-2, but it doesn't matter. The Bomb Tower will pull them all into the middle. The EQ is down, but those Hogs have taken critical damage. One of them, though, is going to sneak a couple of hits in before falling to the tower and the Knight.
I think that's enough when Jack is focusing all of his attack onto the left, only to get that cage out and doing some damage with those Spear Goblins, at least connecting some.
So I'd say 50-50 matchup right now. It's going to be hard for Wonga to break through, but defensively, he looks like he has every tool he needs against the wall breakers. So it's going to be a case of who can just find that window. Here we go. Hogs again denied by the Bomb Tower. Two of them survive, though, but struggle to get around that Knight's body and connect into that tower.
Yeah, what's hard is against the Royal Hogs, it's hard to be perfect. Hard to have that perfect defense. That's the reason why Jack is keeping that Flying Machine on that poison, making sure that he's getting some... Oh, and the Heal Spirit heals it right back up to keep that Flying Machine alive.
Yeah, Wonga, the Flying Machine. Oh, I thought it was going to connect, but there are 3 bats on the tower. The Heal Spirit comes in. The Flying Machine connects onto the tower with those Hogs. Now Wonga has a huge advantage. The Flying Machine is going to take that down. There it goes. Bomb Tower is up, but all too late. Flying Machine doing its job. Low-key, one of the best cards in the game. Bats poisoned out by Jack. It's not going to be enough. 5 seconds, 4, 3, and that is that. Wonga takes a game from Jack. WEDGM take the early lead here.
Clutch poison was the reason why Jack was holding on to Spell for such a long time. He knows that the heal is going to bring it back up. The clutch use of that Heal Spirit back to bat, Wonga keeping all of his units alive, making sure it becomes suddenly a big push where Jack cannot hold with just the Bomb Tower.
Yeah, so cleaning this up here, the Heal Spirit healing it all the way back up, and even though it takes a couple ticks from that poison, this Fly Machine now, watch this, it takes out the last couple of goblins, takes out the wall breakers, and then just locks on the tower. Another Heal Spirit coming out, healing all that back up. And the thing about a Fly Machine is once it's connected onto the tower, it is so hard to get rid of. Unless you have that Fireball, it's going to be Kenzamushi. Well, we were just talking about Kenzamushi doesn't usually show up in these King of the Hills.
Not in 1v1 games.
And here he is. So, in King of the Hill, Kenzamushi has played literally 1 time. And he lost to D-King in the regular season. Bringing him out here, does he have something special planned?
Let's see. I think he's got maybe going back to the Golem decks, which we have seen from China oftentimes at the beginning of the playoff, but with a low win rate, about 35-36% win rate. So slightly moving that away. Kenzamushi, we're not saying that Kenzamushi is a bad player in 1v1. He can certainly pull out a great game in the King of the Hill. But because he has been finding his spot in the triple draft, just going back and forth can be tough sometimes as a player.
Yeah, and Kenzamushi last season and before for this team, he was the dedicated 2v2 player. He would always play in that 2v2 slot. He has had a few, I believe, clutch victories here and there in King of the Hill, but not too many to write home about. So it's going to be Kenzamushi. It's going to be difficult to say what he's going to play because we only have one game data from a patch a month and a half ago. So we don't really have much info on what Kenzamushi has been playing.
Yeah, that's the same for WEDGM. I mean, Kenzamushi, you wouldn't expect him to come out in the King of the Hill. Might be catching them off guard. I think it's a big twist and a big risk to take in the grand finals for FOB too.
But, I mean, they can always rely on Expo Master to come out and clean sweep anyone. Like, the guy on fire will take out the whole team without breaking a sweat.
Oh, yeah, you can't count Kenzamushi down, though. He might bring some wins. I think that
he just needs to bring one. Generally,
more than one would be, more than one would be excellent for FOB. Yeah, but the roster from WDGM is going to be tough. First, you have to bring down Wonga. Those Royal Hog, which a lot of Japanese player has been playing themselves. Pretty sure they are also ready against Wonga. Has already played against Jack. The Flying Machine seems to be the key. We do see it paired up with the Royal Hog, sometimes with the Firecracker, sometimes with the Mega Knight.
Occasionally with a Golem, but here we go. It's going to be Kenzamushi in red at the top for FOB Gaming, playing only his second 1v1 game this whole tournament against Wonga, who has played more games than I can count on my fingers.
Yeah, that's right. I don't see him on my sheet because he did not play 1v1 during the playoffs.
Yeah, he hasn't played since TT Gaming, which I believe was like week 3? Week 2 or 3 for FOB Gaming.
So let's see, Kenzamushi.
This delay, the holding and waiting until double elixir usually means we get to see something explosive. And with Kenzamushi, that explosion is usually a Golem.
Doesn't have to be.
But he is known as Golemeshi, man. The guy is Golemeshi. He is very, very good.
Yeah,
with
that's
Golem.
the mind game of having your Twitter name into Golemeshi, making sure the opponent always thinks Golem when you never actually play.
Kind of like Expo Master, who never plays Expo anymore. Yep. Okay, so both players just waiting for this time to go. Care to make a prediction here?
Not yet.
Before
and
we
the first
get into
we've seen a game that explodes with the Lumberjack balloon just because you play that one Musketeer right off the bat. So if you don't have the perfect, I think usually when this happens, both of the players has the right starting hand. They want to make a great move when the double elixir hits. First graveyard, of course, certainly great. Even the balloon. Hog Rider can be great, but it's oftentimes not enough to bring the entire tower down. Anything heavier, don't really see it too many times in the playoff, but it's still possible because it's Kenzamushi.
Okay, so Goblin Cage and then instantly poisoned away with that Night Witch in the back. Is it going to be Mega Knight? It is. It's going to be the Mega Knight graveyard here from Kenzamushi, looking at what he's played so far.
With the Baby Dragon, it looks pretty certain. And there's that graveyard delivery right on top of the bridge.
Defensive poison from Kenzamushi, getting that extra damage in, but these skeletons on the graveyard doing an alright job.
Wonga, yeah, brings the same similar version, but with the bomb tower instead.
Yeah, Mega Knight needed to squish some of these skeletons here. 1983, a little bit more damage done from Wonga's graveyard than Kenzamushi's.
Yeah, even without that poison. So we talk mirror match oftentimes, and oftentimes with the graveyard, it's due to defense, how many defensive or offensive poison. Now Kenzamushi having that offensive poison, matching the Princess Tower HP to an even.
Yep, just slightly more damage again, 1834. Kenzamushi throwing down and investing those 4 elixirs into that Goblin Cage, which is going to help out on the defense if the graveyard comes in from Wonga on this push.
Stopping that Mega Knight will be the key with the bomb tower and the delivery ult. Everything on the bridge, making sure nothing crosses.
Yep, poisons coming down here from both players. That means Wonga does not have that defensive poison in hand, but it doesn't matter. The royal delivery clears everything up. But deciding not to pull the trigger on the graveyard is Wonga.
Yeah, both poisons are gone, so I was also thinking Wonga might play that graveyard, but delivery is not. One single recruit is not big of a body.
Yeah, but the baby dragon is, and the baby dragon crosses the bridge and takes the aggro from the Princess Tower. But there is a Night Witch and a baby dragon on the defense. So the skeletons are getting cleaned up, slowly but surely. And now Kenzamushi can pull his own with the Mega Knight tanking. But it's going to go down very quickly. The delivery is there, but look at that tower. It's taking critical damage. 826, 799. Will the baby dragon get a connection? No, it does not, and that is cleaned up. 799 on the clock there.
30 seconds left, and with a offensive poison, Wonga needs to go all in, but the Night Witch is doing some work, taking some damage as Kenzamushi, but he goes all in with an aggressive graveyard, locks onto the Mega Knight. Is this going to be it for Kenzamushi? 300, going low with the skeletons, and that's going to be game. Bob strikes it back. And you mentioned Kenzamushi. 1 win. That might be good enough.
Yeah, and that is a 50% win rate in King of the Hill this season for that guy there, Kenzamushi. He's taken Wonga. He did lose to D-King, but a win is a win. We were counting him out. We were like, Kenzamushi, he hasn't played that many King of the Hills. Here he is, comes in the grand finals and gets a W on that board. The graveyard's working out for Kenzamushi. He was just able to find the windows a little bit easier, and I think Wonga may have been a little bit too careless with those poisons.
It's hard because you need that somewhat of a body, which is basically the Dark Prince for Wonga onto that bridge so that the Mega Knight doesn't cross. Even if it does, you need something. And then delivery to remove all the troops behind it. So you literally don't have anything else on the ground against the skeletons. Baby Dragon did come in somewhat handy, but not perfect enough to defend all the damage. Yeah, great game by Kenzamushi there. Having some maximum push with that Mega Knight, somewhat heavier, but making sure you have your win condition by having higher HP push on the bridge.
And it is gonna be higher coming in now in that second slot for WEDGM. He's gonna have to face Kenzamushi. That guy on your screen right there who just won with that graveyard deck. Will he bring graveyard again?
Yeah, solid deck, I would say, but you can have so many different combinations with the graveyard. Even some of those graveyard with, I believe, with some of those knights, switching out the Dark Prince. There are so many different types, and we have seen a lot of Giant today. I think that's also the key for Fav to win. Giant Night Witch. You can also switch out Giant with the Miner. That has been somewhat of a key. Giant Miner with the Miner poison with the Giant. There has been some good matches from Fav. I believe Jack also played that once. Even some games from Ponos, I believe. So those games were actually catching lots of those meta decks off guard. I think it's also up to WEDGM. So far, they have been moving away from those heavy decks for sure. Okay, good. Peas, maybe 1 Golem today if he's playing. I think that's good enough because he's excellent with the Golem decks. But no one else though.
It's standard. Peas will play Golem every time at least once. That's just what he does. And I mean, fair play to him. You can read it like a book, and even if you know he's bringing Golem, it's impossible to stop. But let's talk about Higher. Higher has been basically a standout star for WEDGM. He has been a point man for the team. Solomon and Wonga have basically been like just there for the team. Like they're a solid core. And you got Peas as well, who brings Golem and wins.
Yeah, man. WDGM last week they have been focusing on the deck, Wallbreaker Miner deck with the Knight Hunter. That has been the key defensive card, especially cards like Mega Knight. I think that's a good shout to actually bring for any of the member from WEDGM. Talking about the Wallbreaker Miner with Hunter Knight and Skeleton. Spells would be the Poison and Delivery, 2.8 cycle.
So the last time Hire came out in King of the Hill, he did lose to Jack, and he bought the Royal Giant Firecracker deck. So will he bring that against Kenzamushi this time, or will he change things up, bringing something like a Hog Rider or another Graveyard, because we have not seen enough Graveyards today or even this season?
Not yet. Still, it can be anything. Lots of EQs are being paired. Actually, we do not see Hog Riders, not as much today compared to last week or the week before.
Yeah, there was a lot of Hog Riders in the last couple of weeks in the playoffs, but today, choosing to go for other routes, not trusting the man in his pig. All right, so Bats finding each other out with the Heal Spirit and the Goblin Cage. It's most likely going to be Royal Giant for Hire. Kenzamushi could be bringing Royal Hogs. Miner comes in.
Yeah. Or Magic Archer with the Wallbreaker is still a good option.
There's a mini P.E.K.K.A. Okay, the Flying Machine is here. There's the Royal Hogs. Okay, Hire brings the same deck that we saw earlier, the Flying Machine Royal Hogs. And let's see if he can get a similar result to what Wonga did.
Yeah, still the Royal Hogs. They do reach the tower, but keeps the Flying Machine out of damage. So not bad of a trade for Kenzamushi or Hire. There needs to be careful of that Heal Spirit. It's one elixir, changing the game result.
Right, Magic Archer is shut down there. In come the pigs. Are we going to see no Heal Spirit this time? But the mini P.E.K.K.A. doing its job of just making bacon out of the Royal Hogs there. Is it going to be able to be shut down? I assume Goblin Cage will pull it into the center, chooses the Heal Spirit instead, burning one elixir just to make sure that that mini P.E.K.K.A. gets nothing on the tower.
It can be rough because Hire's with those Spirit Goblins trying to get those spells out, making sure like a log or that to be out so that the Royal Hogs can actually do some more damage. Kenzamushi not really spending too much.
Yeah, realizing a small window is open where the mini P.E.K.K.A. won't be able to come down due to the Giant and the Magic Archer coming in. The Hogs are unleashed, and they get some scratches onto this tower. But will that mini P.E.K.K.A. connect? Spear Goblins say no, but that Miner is pretty much free range right now until the Flying Machine is played on top of him, closing that down. And still no angle for these Magic Archers to get a connection into the tower. That is something Hire is very aware of to this point.
It just burns that EQ for that extra damage to get that Magic Archer gone. Keeps the Miner alive, but the problem is those two machines in the air. Can Kenzamushi deal with this without taking too much damage?
What's worse than defending one Flying Machine without a Fireball? Trying to do it to two, and the Hogs do break through, getting more damage. 635 remaining there, and it's just slowly collapsing in on Kenzamushi. But this mini P.E.K.K.A. delivery just in time there. But look at this, the Magic Archer is finally getting those piercing shots he needs so much for Kenzamushi.
Log.
EQ, is it going to be enough? The Hogs are on the tower, and there it goes. Hire taking game 3. 2-1 WEDGM.
So we've seen it twice already. One from Wonga, one from Hire. Royal Hog, Heal Spirit with the Flying Machine. I think that is the key deck for WEDGM already. So delivery is crucial. You basically need it to bring your chances against the Royal Hog. One of the best defensive cards right now in the meta.
I mean, Magic Archer just it's not going to make light work of the Hogs. You're always going to take some damage. I guess that's what you want the mini P.E.K.K.A. there for, but you know, you need that mini P.E.K.K.A. on the offense because, you know, if it gets on a tower, it's going to deal a lot of damage. And these piercing shots finally started to look good for Kenzamushi, but Hogs do Hog things, get onto the tower with the EQ to slow everything down and just take it.
EQ, not just doing the damage, the slow is also the key. Now here comes Expo Master, as everyone expected.
Throwing in Expo Master here, I mean, what are we going to see? Maybe Giant Night Witch Graveyard again, because he has played that a couple times tonight already.
Or Jack brought his Expo. Is it finally time for the right person to bring his name value up there?
I don't think so. I don't think he'll be bringing it today, especially with Royal Hogs being on the menu for WEDGM.
No.
It would be risky. I mean, WEDGM tend to do this. They tend to find one deck that they all play at least once.
And then everyone, I think it's literally the coach, okay, here's the deck for this week, practice, and then everyone just has the exact same deck. That was the Golem deck at the beginning, and that was the Wallbreaker deck at week 1. Now it seems to be this Royal Hog Flying Machine deck, which we have seen once last week.
Yeah, I actually kind of like this strategy of making sure everyone in your team practices one team deck. And then you can say, okay, if you get to game 2, go do whatever you want, but you have to play this deck once. If that's what's going on, because WEDGM are one of the only teams that do this, that have the same deck from every player at least once. If that's the strategy, I kind of like it.
Yeah, but it can be read easily from the opponent. Like delivery, because Kenzamushi in the last game with that Giant Miner had the log and the zap, I believe. Yeah, no delivery certainly, and also no big building to drag it like the bomb tower or.
But I mean, that's part of the mind games, right? Because you wouldn't expect them to bring that deck again, you know?
So now they're going to know, and Expo Master feeling that it might actually pop out again.
It definitely could.
This Wallbreaker cycle, which he did win just now against Kicks.
Could do.
With delivery EQ on his own.
I'd like that. I think that would be a very good matchup for Expo Master against the Royal Hogs. Maybe Mega Knight Wallbreaker?
Mega Knight Wallbreaker is also okay, but Expo Master, just for himself, I think he does like cheaper cycle without the Mega Knight. And some of those placement on the Magic Archer in the previous game for Expo Master, crucial placements where he kept that Magic Archer alive for over 20 seconds.
Well, we're going to get into this. Fav Gaming on the back foot, 2-1 down in this King of the Hill. Higher. Can he close this out for WEDGM, or will Expo Master finish it and take game 4, taking us to a game 5? Fav Gaming will find out, and there are wall breakers from Higher.
Immediately heal Spirit with Spirit Goblins from, and here it comes.
Royal Giant play deep. Higher decides, all right, I'm going to go Miner.
I have some a leftover elixir. I'll just throw it down on the other side.
Good positioning on that Firecracker. You want it behind the Royal Giant. Unfortunately, it does get poisoned away, and there is a Hunter. Okay.
The Hunter Knight combination that WEDGM loves to play. Just to get some damage along with that Earthquake.
Yep. And the Miner again down the right-hand side. Put on the inside of the tower this time, so it's going to be able to go a little bit more ham. Knowing there's no Tornado from your opponent allows you to be a lot more carefree with the positioning on the Miner.
Higher, he wants to break through, and oftentimes the damage, Wallbreaker, you're not, maybe if you get a chance you can connect it when your opponent's out of elixirs, but oftentimes going to be blocked with a cage. So as long as you limit the shots from RG, I think you're safe with the poison, offensive poison damage that you are going to get.
Okay, Firecracker played very high this time, but it doesn't matter. She is going to end up being behind the Royal Giant due to the kickback of that rocket launcher. Heal Spirit comes in, and that's going to allow RG to get one extra big cannonball into that tower.
Which is good enough, and you still keep your firecracker for the extra load of that RG. Okay, Miner did somewhat of damage on top right, but still, this is the big push now.
It's going to get one shot. It's going to get two. And that is it, 1-0-4-3. Expo Master has a pretty big advantage, but he's struggling to deal with these miners coming in. And that bat is going to do a lot of work if it connects into the tower. No, it's going to stick on the brawler, and it is shut down. Firecracker again here, this time dealing with a knight, and then looking at some skeletons.
Again, the RG loads up on the left, a little bit of a later. Yeah, put down on the hunter. Continues to do more damage with that RG. Another shot with that heal.
Yeah, the heal buying enough time to get an extra shot. 77 remains there. Higher needs this miner to finish the tower, but I don't think he's going to do it. There are 20 seconds remaining. The wall breakers come in. Is there anything to stop them? There is.
434 away from double the poison, plus the minor damage. Expo Master can finish the bottom left with an earthquake, so higher. Let's get the poison out, but not in time. Expo Master is going to take game number 4.
That is going to take us to a game 5 of this King of the Hill between FAV Gaming and WEDGM. Really, really liking this Royal Giant Earthquake deck today. A lot of players with the Heal Spirit as well, and I don't know what's clicked in the players, but they are finding ways to make that Heal Spirit always connect. We've seen it so many times get logged away. Today, it's doing what it needs to do. It's constantly connecting into those RGs.
Yeah, we see a lot of these players predicting some other units to be played onto bridge, and they play earlier compared to last week and the week before. Yeah, we're making sure it's right behind the unit already so that it's not really seen. So making sure you're taking out some of those bats, also healing your own units. So those has been working out really great, even for Wonga, who had played in game 1. So it comes down to the final game. Who do you bring? Has to be Solomon.
Has to be. No one else is as consistent on WEDGM as Solomon. Solomon has a... Oh, there it is. Solomon has a 44% win rate. Oh, wait, that's triple draft. Solomon has a 58% win rate in King of the Hill, the highest in his team. The next highest is the man you just saw, Wonga, who just left the stage. So these are the two stalwarts of WEDGM. But Expo Master, I mean, the guy before the Kicks game had a 67% win rate. I mean...
Solomon, who also one of those rare players, I would say. Yeah, bringing that Remrider Mega Knight, only from the playoff, only counting the 1v1 games, 1v1 and the King of the Hill. I believe 5-3 right now for Solomon. He can bring anything else, like he has played the RG twice, even Balloon, and the Graveyard, of course. And RG Firecracker actually going up to 64% in win rate right now. One of the best win rates so far in the meta. Like, Wallbreaker Miner has risen up to like near 40%, but still pretty low. Hog Rider actually near 40%, so it's going down because I think all the players right now, because on ladder Grand Challenge, Hog Rider everywhere.
Yeah.
Basically, that's one deck you have to be ready for, and the Graveyard too. And some Wallbreaker, not as much because there are lots of different combinations to it. So those two not really being played too many in competitive. That's why you just come up with a one-for-all solution, RG Firecracker.
RG Firecracker or Flying Machine Royal Hogs apparently for WEDGM today. It's an interesting deck.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more Royal Hogs because, as you mentioned before the broadcast, as we're sort of moving away from the bomb tower just a little bit and relying a little bit more on the cage.
Yep.
Which is a better sign for the Royal Hogs to come back.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Against the bomb tower, Royal Hogs,
But I mean, we've already seen that it doesn't matter if you have a bomb tower, the Royal Hogs still win.
And also the comeback of Magic Archer. I think those two, with the Heal Spirit, players are getting used to really how to maximize the benefit of really basically, lining down your win condition with that amount of heal. And if you make that, it's sort of like a weaker version of Elixir Golem attack, not for the 3 crown, but with that heal, you can just maximize your truth.
Yeah, another thing is, like, we've seen with this Royal Giant deck, we're seeing there's bait elements to try and bait out those logs. You have the spear goblins, you have basically things that you want your opponent to log out the way, and as soon as you see that log come down, heal spirit, go, 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 heal everything back up. It is phenomenal to see these players just know how their opponents are going to react to every situation. But we are down to game 5 in the King of the Hill. Solomon in blue at the bottom against Expo Master in red at the top. And the winner of this takes an early advantage in the finals here.
Solomon, does he go back to his Royal Hog deck with the Dark Prince? I don't think this is the sign. There's that Giant. We're looking at the graveyard, and from the Expo Master actually bringing that Night Hunter combination with that Wallbreaker Miner.
Yep. So it is going to be another graveyard with the Giant. And the Night Witch, there is the graveyard. Is the Giant actually going to cross the bridge? It doesn't. The Giant doesn't tank for the graveyard this time. Slightly mistimed, maybe?
I think, yeah, Solomon, he didn't want to waste any elixir, so he just pulled that away early on. And also to make sure that Hunter is also away from that Giant, doing less damage.
And you see there is the Snowball. Musketeer cleaning that up. That Miner did get quite a bit of damage, 2097. We haven't seen the patented head shake from Solomon yet. There was a slight tilt there, but it was not a full head shake.
Yeah, again with the skeletons, he gains power. If you don't know Solomon, whenever he tilts or
whenever he shakes his
he powers
head.
up double.
Shakes his head is when he reaches power levels over 9,000.
That's his win condition. Yep, graveyard, that was an early timing, but still, it was before double elixir time. Just to cycle away.
Better ways to cycle 5 elixir than a graveyard. That's going to do nothing. Okay.
That's true.
So, Bats here, arrowed away. And now we have, yeah, I thought this was going to come. There is the Dark Prince. The Night Witch is there. The poison is down for Expo Master to try and defend this. And defend it is, but the Dark Prince is still very healthy. That's going to get, oh, no. Knight is just in time to pull him away from the tower.
Yep, and also defensive poison. So Expo Master says, okay, the skeletons are barely going to reach my tower as long as I defend okay with Night Hunter. And Miner to cheapen the damage, I will be okay.
But there is the Giant. There's the graveyard, this time timed to perfection. And defensive poison comes down. So it's going to be hard to get.
Giant reaching the tower will be the problem, though.
Yep, one big punch. Almost 2 big punches. I think the second punch connected. I'm not too sure there. I'd have to watch the replay. But here we go. Dark Prince does get that charge in. And this is a lot of bodies. 2 Musketeers, a Night Witch, and the Dark Prince.
We're waiting for that delivery timing from Expo Master. Yep. And that's all solved. Yeah, one more shot from the Musketeer. Oh no.
Wallbreaker's going down that left-hand side, and there is the cage to distract Snowball. Surely for these Bats, let the Miner go and build this push on the right-hand side.
So loading up that Hunter right next to the tower, making sure that Giant doesn't reach the tower this time. Yes. Skeletons will come in handy.
Solomon letting those Wallbreakers connect in order to make this push work. The poison is there again, the Hunter is there again, and it's not getting as much damage as we've seen, or what even Solomon needs. So we see the Miner come on the inside. There are the Wallbreakers going into the Goblin Cage, but more damage is coming through. And with each Miner that Expo Master unleashes onto this tower, it looks as though he's getting closer and closer to victory.
Yeah, but forces the attack onto the left because the Brawler, Dark Prince combination, the Knight had to be down there, so only Hunter available for this push right now against Solomon.
Yeah, there is the poisons played on top of the Night Witch. Okay.
The slow with the Snowball. This might be enough with the Giant reaching the tower. Solomon!
It's not going to be enough to finish it, but it's enough to give him the lead at this moment. And it looks like Solomon was expecting a Miner to come in a little bit early there. He drops the Night Witch predictively at the back, and it's not enough. And with this poison, Expo Master's going to take a lead. This would be a very hard-fought victory if Expo Master can win it. Poison, Miner. I think
offensive
Expo
poison with the poison, and it's just a little bit faster at the bottom left. Expo Master takes Solomon down back-to-back after higher. Bob Gaming leading the grand final 1-0.
That was very, very much in Solomon's favor. It looked as though it might have been, but it wasn't. He just pushed a little bit too hard, a little bit too aggressively. Wasn't defending the minors. Was just okay. Go. I'm gonna let it slip. I'm gonna let it slip. I'm gonna let it slip. I'm gonna let it fly. It's fine. It's fine. Until it wasn't fine.
Yes, it's hard because Expo Master keeps on attacking your bottom left. And you can't just let that minor go. You need to put something down. And when that's down, your offensive attack on the right is even weaker.
With this poison being placed where it was, I thought maybe this was Solomon's opportunity, but with the bats, with the Royal Delivery, with the Knight, just couldn't get any extra damage. That Night Witch played right there. I thought it was maybe predictive. Then the Dark Prince goes back into its situation. 405. Yeah. And now he has to try and push on the left-hand side. Giant on the right. Giant alone with a graveyard is not going to be able to get it done. The snowball to push the miner, but one more hit and that poison was just enough.
Even the top left with the Dark Prince, Night Witch, and the Brawler, that was going to be towered on if that thing was put down, but Knight just in time, and all the defensive mechanics, and an offensive poison, so we had to split our two eyes into three and see which one goes down first. Yeah, that offensive poison decision from Expo Master literally won the game.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Like, shutting down the Night Witch early really did help in that final push, and it just bought enough time. But I think I got to agree with Solomon. Letting those things go down the left-hand side was fine until it wasn't. Like, he let wall breakers connect. The miners he let go. He was so focused on the right-hand side, and letting it go made sense for the longest time, but eventually that all stacks up. Miners doing full damage, 2 wall breakers getting a hit. You cannot let it keep going and going and going, and eventually you have to put something down to defend.
Yeah, he was playing somewhat into Expo Master's hand, where he was forcing you to split the damage, split the attack, and Expo Master, he can sacrifice the wall breakers for just to draw it to one side or the other side, not just to break the cage, but to drag it to the left or the right. Just other than the Giant, he had all the time, all the tools to actually delay it with those bats, skeletons, the Knight tanking a whole lot of damage too. So great decision by Expo Master, winning by, I believe, 62 remaining on his tower there. Yeah, he's going to bring that king up the hill for Fob.
Could not have been closer between those two. It was back and forth. But now it's time for Triple Draft. Triple Draft is here. This is the last time we're going to see Triple Draft. Forever.
Maybe forever. Who knows? Who knows?
Forever. But we're going to get into it. I'm assuming Kenzamushi for Fav Gaming.
Certainly.
If it is, and Kenzamushi does win this, Fav Gaming will be one set away from winning it. But obviously,
3-0 in finals? No way.
I mean, but WEDGM do not lie down, especially when it comes to those 1v1s. And you look at the Triple Draft, Higher has an 80% win rate, but only 5 games on record. Solomon has 16 games on record with a 43%. Just go look at Kenzamushi. 17 games, 64%. It is his. No one else in Triple Draft is as good as Kenzamushi.
Higher with less games, yes, but we have to take into a situation where Kenzamushi has been basically drilling down this mode himself alone, and the reason why Fav Gaming was able to finish so many games in 3-1 started with Kenzamushi.
So it's going to be Higher here from WEDGM. Higher in Triple Draft, boasting a 80% win rate, 4-1 as we saw before, and it is going to be Kenzamushi, who has played a ridiculous amount of Triple Draft games and still maintains a win rate is 60%.
Triple Draft. Keep your eyes closed, guys. Well, keep your eyes close to the match and open, because might be the last time. Who knows? In competitive Clash Royale.
So Higher's 4-1 comes from 2 games against B-King and 2-1 against Benzer Riddell last week against Kicks. But Kenzamushi lost to Solomon before in Triple Draft, beat D-King, beat Little Chen, lost to Line, beat Solomon, lost to Line again, beat Tengod, and beat Legend today. So who's going to be able to take this one? Both have impressive records. I think Kenzamushi's, I would say, is a little bit more impressive because of the amount of games. But we're going to see what they pick. There is a bandit into the Goblin Cage.
Let's see the conditions for both. Yeah, with the Dark Prince, you can assume it's going to be somewhat Brit spam from higher.
But this is triple draft, so it could literally
Yeah.
be anything. Baby Dragon played at the back. Bomber, that means we do have tank support, which means we could see... Oh, the bandit is there as well. Okay. Firecracker from higher.
Yeah, the anti-air, cheap anti-air from higher, both not revealing spell until that arrow. Here comes the Hog Rider, Firecracker from higher. Not a bad choice.
Yep, something to support him. Fisherman is going to help activate that King Tower there. That's something we don't get to see much anymore. Do miss the Fisherman in the meta. We don't see him anymore. The Royal Giant from Kenzamushi, and with the Fisherman behind, he could pull any units like a mini Pecker away from it. So a very good combination of units there with the Fisherman and the Royal Giant. One hit from that RG is all Kenzamushi is going to get this time around.
Not bad, but higher has to go through that cage. In Hog Rider, you win condition, but still, I think you have to rely a lot more on the Firecracker. But with the defensive arrow, which Kenzamushi is going to lock on every single time. Yeah, higher might be having a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, with the arrows right now, there are no other good targets except for that Firecracker. So you can hold it, you can save it for that. And then if higher does have something like a minion horde, or he has minions or anything like that, we have the arrows to go down on that instead.
Good snowball. Led into one hit from Hog Rider on the left. Higher wants more than that from spending 6 elixirs for that.
There's the poison. Nicely played. Not predicting, but knowing how far back the Firecracker is going to go, and puts it right in that sweet spot where after one shot she ends up deep in those poison
RG
wells.
back to back after the bomb tower slowly reaches the tower.
Look at that left. The Brawler getting work done. Brawler is insane. It does so much damage real quick to a tower. And
Fireball locked and ready. Goes to the tower. Brings the bomber down. And Hog Rider still getting a hit. So not bad for higher.
there's a Firecracker this time from higher. Will Kenzamushi find the poison opportunity here, or just decide to let it go there? Are the arrows breaking the Dark Prince's shield?
Switching to the right all of a sudden now, Fisherman. Yeah, great D with that cage. And the Brawler gonna make short work of that Hog Rider.
Yep, there is the bomb tower. Just shutting it down, making it hard for this Royal Giant to connect. It is going to get one shot only, but the Inferno Dragon is lost in the middle of nowhere. Oh no, it turns around and connects, and that's going to get a big amount of damage in. 514 remain.
That was about 500-600 damage just by the Inferno.
It looked as though the Inferno was going to be completely useless, but everything moved away from it a bit too quick for its tracking to kick in. And it connects onto that tower. One hit, 2 hits is all it takes, and Kenzamushi takes the first game here in the triple draft.
Kenzamushi rising up to a god tier in triple draft. I mean, he was close.
Somebody check his device for hacks, because he is drafting like an absolute god.
His IQ must be like his memory skill on those possible cards are absolutely insane. And to bring down that RG to open up, and when there were more chances on the left after this Brawler basically cracks all the rocks onto that tower.
Yeah, and that was the switch for Kenzamushi. Before that,
Yeah,
he was
1134.
only down the right. I got it to about 500. Yeah. So about 500 damage. Insane. The Inferno Dragon should not have got that much damage. Not that it was bad play by higher. You'd assume that the Inferno Dragon would be distracted long enough.
Yeah, sometimes the Bandit, yeah, when it dashes, it cannot be targeted. So and then after the dash, it moved away when the tower was actually closer to the Inferno. So that was the lock, which Hire might have thought, but I'm pretty sure he was willing, even if it connected, he was willing to take some damage, but 600 is just way too much at that
way
moment.
Too much. Fav fans, they're probably going crazy right now. It looks as though they're going to be 2-0 up against WEDGM.
Almost there.
But I would recommend you calm those temperaments. You calm the celebrations now. Because the last time these two teams played,
reverse
Fav
sweep.
went 2-0, and then the 1v1 happened, and WEDGM won. So still be hesitant. Don't premature celebrate right now. But it's looking good so far.
Pretty sure they can't sit on their chairs. they're standing up cheering for the team. Same for WEDGM. I mean, they were waiting for the finals. King of the Hill, well, we've had a lot of history where they still lost King of the Hill and also Triple Draft. But 1v1 is their strength, the best of threes. That has been the power source for them even during the regular season. So there are any type of potential there. It is best of 5 for a reason. And the best esports score always reverse sweep in a way, but still higher. You can bring it back in the Triple Draft. Kenzamushi seems like a god right now.
But gods bleed, G-Clef. Gods bleed.
We'll see if Kenzamushi bleeds or not. He seems like he's on a god tier. Like, his spell choices today, just absolutely crazy.
The arrows?
Even against the freeze before this match, and Wonga having that fireball. Maybe the flying machine was one of the or flying machine or the Royal Hogs. Magic Archer were the choices from Kenzamushi, and did not choose any of those.
Only Line has beaten Kenzamushi twice in Triple Draft.
A Line's gone.
He's gone. The one weakness, the kryptonite of Kenzamushi is already out of the tournament. I mean, Solomon has beat him too, but that was very early in the season. So we're going to get into game 2 here of this Triple Draft. What are we going to see? Are we going to see an Elixir Collector? Are we going to see the pump?
Royal Ghost. I'm
RG.
feeling it.
Feeling it? I don't. I do not feel the Royal Ghost. It's in a very contested location with the Miner, the
mini
Dart
tank.
Prince.
We'll see. Yeah, Kenzamushi's Fisherman certainly helped a lot against those Hog Riders. Look how quick the man is before 11 seconds.
Got to admit, I do miss Fisherman in the meta. He was just one of those cards that was fun to watch.
Yeah, RG Fisherman was actually a good deck.
Yeah, but it was a pain in the... Yeah,
Still,
it was
there
a
are
pain
some
to go against.
Fisherman Masters up there.
Somewhere. Okay, it is
Instant Hog.
Rider from Kenzamushi, Dark Prince in retaliation, and the Barbarian Barrel as the small spell here for hire.
Let's see if Kenzamushi has that Earthquake, or the follow-up spells to that Hog Rider, or even the Poison's not also too bad.
We're going to see, we do have the tank support.
We do have the
here.
meta deck from higher doing the Triple Draft. Oh, Goblin Giant to push it through.
Yep, Goblin Giant Night Witch is the uglier cousin of the Golem Night Witch that we see in the Giant Night Witch, but it still works.
So if Hire had anything like a Poison or a Lightning, I think he would have used it just now.
I think it's still a bit early, perhaps.
He had enough Elixir. Maybe it is too early.
You don't want to
go down that way.
Yeah, you don't want to overcommit this early in the game. And Inferno Tower is going to be a pretty good answer to that Hog Rider for hire. So how is Kenzamushi going to find a way through this? The cannon card connecting could be integral to Kenzamushi, because you can't rely on the Hog Rider once the Inferno Tower is there. But the cycle seems a bit heavier on higher side, so he's going to find it difficult to get back to something like the Inferno Tower, but the Ice Wizard is also there.
We'll see. Kenzamushi has some counter cards. Arrows, it doesn't reset, but still the Dark Goblin outranges the Inferno. So if that comes the case where Dark Goblin survives for a long time, then he can have his own game and a minion horde.
A card that we do not get to see all too often. Minion Horde is kind of a very out of favor in today's meta and has been for a long time, especially with cards like arrows. But in Triple Draft, when you have the arrows, what is your opponent going to have? You probably know they don't have Fireball because you would have seen that.
And just waiting for the big spells from both players, and one more from higher.
Another Night Witch played at the back. There is the Dark Prince. Expect the Goblin Giant to be at the bridge to stop that cannon card. There is a poison. Dark Prince is going to break through with the Dark Goblin at the back.
Yeah, Minion Horde actually working so well because Kenzamushi, he holds the arrows. The key card against those Minion Horde. Now the Dark Goblin survives.
I mean, one of the problems that Kenzamushi, that Higher faces is what is he going to get through this defense of Kenzamushi? There isn't much he has that can pierce it from what we've seen so far. Is Lightning one of the spells? Is it Rocket? What's the other card he's missing? Like, there's just so many things.
EQ. Raid against the bomb tower, was waiting for that moment of the building. But Minion Horde actually becoming such a great tool in defense for Kenzamushi right now.
Yeah, and the last card is Hunter, which luckily does stop those cannon cards, but no Inferno Tower this time to stop that Hog Rider. And finally, Kenzamushi gets a Hog in the face of a tower, and it is going ham. 1370 done to that tower. Higher has a very difficult task of building a push against... Yeah, I mean, he has barely anything that shoots up.
That's the problem, and the main problem are the spells. Bar Barrel, Earthquake, no air defense at all, so Ice Wizard has to do all the work. Now even the Dark Goblin has to be defended with the Barbarian Barrel. Okay defense, but still takes a poison damage. We're ticking to the final minute of overtime. Can Kenzamushi take this 2-0?
Well, we are in that triple elixir, and you gotta commend Kenzamushi for bringing that Minion Horde, assuming your opponent would pick the Bar Barrel and the EQ. This is just phenomenal deck choices again for Kenzamushi when it comes to triple drafts.
Still doing a lot of work, Minion, to get the Horde down. Even spent the Hunter in a offensive mode. Higher put in a lot for that attack, still close to no damage other than the Earthquake.
Yeah, this time the Inferno Tower is going to get down to stop that Hog Rider. But what's going to stop the Dark Goblin? It is an Ice Wiz.
Yeah. Usually shoots 2, even with 1 HP. Sometimes 1. Depends on how you reach the tower. But Kenzamushi ready with that charge from the Prince. Already down to 1/3 on that Goblin's Giant. Still the Minion Horde pretty strong. Keeping that Dark Goblin alive. The cannon card's there for defense.
Well, what's going to stop Dark Prince? Just stopped shy. There's the poison. Kenzamushi seals another triple draft victory with that poison. 0-2. What do you have to do to stop that man? That's the second victory he's had today. Second 2-0 in triple draft.
Kenzamushi doesn't bleed in triple draft.
Those
Proven.
losses were a lie.
Proven Minion Horde. I mean,
you gotta respect the choice. You look at what your
Yeah.
opponent has. You see the Bar Barrel. You see the EQ. You know your opponent's gonna go for it. You pick up that Minion Horde. That is triple draft. I don't know. Psychic powers? I don't know. The guy just knows what you're gonna pick.
especially when you are yourself is holding those 2 key cards against the Minion Horde. Arrow Poison. Those were your options. If it's before the Minion Horde, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure he got to see at least arrows before the Minion Horde pickup. Yeah, which is one spell that basically annihilates all the Minion Horde immediately.
It gives you the most value.
Yeah, and +2 elixir trade, or even if any of those choices like the Wizard.
Can you imagine if his choice was Fireball as well? Like,
Yeah, Fireball
Kenzamushi
not
got all the options against.
like Poison Fireball.
Yeah, Poison, Fireball, just zap,
Rocket.
everything. Like, it has to have been, because you would rarely choose Minion Horde because the card is not good in this meta. There's too much splash. There's too much air.
After looking at EQ option for his opponent, okay, likely because EQ pairs up with so many different
And I already
ground heavy.
Maybe I already saw the Hog Rider, so I pick. You know he's going to pick EQ. Everyone picks EQ with Hog Rider these days. You know he's going to do that.
Yeah, good mind game there. I think Kenzamushi literally won with those choices.
Yep.
Yeah, Minion Horde became the one good key defensive card against the Goblin Giant, which never really reached the tower.
No, I don't think it ever did. I think he might have got a couple of spears off, but no
Yeah, just the
real
spears,
big green
maybe.
ham fists. Anyway, that's done. Triple draft is over. That's the last triple draft you ever have to watch this season.
From this season, at least. And 1v1 time now. Is this going to be a repeat or a change of history where Fob seals it 3-0? Or WEDGM striking it back? I mean, when it was Nova, it was the other way usually. WEDGM losing 2-3, winning the first two and then losing the 3 after. But it is a different case against Fob.
Look at the win rates for WEDGM in 1v1. 80%, 88.9, 66.7. Then you look over on Fav, 68, 57, 33. And I mean, yeah, they're scary. WEDGM's 1v1 is absolutely terrifying. But the advantage is firmly with Fav. They only need to win one. It is higher.
Ooh.
They
Again.
only need to win one best of 3, one set.
That's true.
And it is going to be Expo Master against Higher. Okay.
We've seen it on 1v1. We've seen it on the World Finals of last year where WEDGM, yeah, against Fob, WEDGM basically took it with a 2-0. Yeah, good 2v2 and 1v1 to seal the deal there. Still in very good favor of Fob Gaming, up 2-0. But no need to mention it anymore. WEDGM, their power comes through when we go to 1v1.
The last time these two met, Expo Master and Higher in the playoffs, Higher won 2-1. So favor is very much on Higher's side. He has the better win rate. He has just everything in his favor. The guy doesn't lose. He's beaten Jack 2-0 in regular season. He beat Expo Master 2-1. He has Fav's number, but can Expo Master buckle the trend? Can he beat Higher and give Fav Gaming one of their first titles in Clash Royale?
It is totally possible with this set. Expo Master against Higher. Did play Hog Rider Valkyrie twice. One with Bomb Tower, one with Inferno Tower. And one more with double barrel. The Goblin Barrel and the Skeleton Barrel. Let's see this time. Higher not revealing anything right now. I mean, I think we're feeling Royal Hogs at least once from WEDGM side.
But maybe it's going to be Flying Machine Royal Hogs. Yeah, that would be interesting, but I don't think you'd wait till Double Elixir to unleash that beast. Last time Higher played a 1v1 set against Expo Master, he bought, let's see, Hog Rider, EQ. He bought Balloon. He bought Minor Balloon, and then he bought Wall Breakers with the Minor. So he bought Minor Wall Breakers, he bought Hog Rider, and he bought Minor Loon. So, is he going to bring the same kind of decks this time? Expo Master in that match. That was the match where he had an unlimited amount of princesses, I believe. So, he did play Lockbait. He played Hog Rider EQ twice with the Valkyrie.
Let's see how you go back. Waiting for at least one graveyard, that's what I'm feeling. But even with the knight placement, it would be crucial. If you're just throwing down your big body away from the bridge, it can be very tough. We're 10 seconds away from double elixir time. Okay, knight from all the way from the King Tower.
Yep. Well, are we going to have anything to stop this bandit? The answer is no. Higher is going to go big into the right-hand side here. Playing that tornado. There is a Goblin Cage. Okay, Higher's playing a little bit slower than we usually expect to see when you wait until double elixir. And the Ram Rider isn't pulled by the Goblin Cage. It's going to get that charge. That's a big, big hit.
Yeah, still the graveyard timing is available for Higher. This is the Ice Tornado Graveyard.
Old school graveyard. But look at that. You stop everything from going across the bridge. And the Princess Tower just goes to work on the skeletons. You got the Inferno Dragon on top of that Baby Dragon. And it is all kind of falling apart here for Higher.
Lovely defense for Expo Master, and the poison reaching so much damage. Still the Ram Riders up there. Inferno Dragon still in the air, making sure all the defensive cards are gone. The tornado is effective somewhat, but to pull that Mega Knight, that big body usually survives even after the tornado and moves away from that zone.
Yeah, 1-3-4-2 against 1-7-9-4. Is the graveyard going to come down this time from higher? The answer is no. He's leaking more and more elixir. Drops that poison on top of the Inferno, but that's not going to do much. Ram Rider is going to get a connection into that Goblin Cage. Everything's slowing down from the Ice Wizards, but the poisons from Expo Master is slowly going to tick down that tower and give him the victory in the first game between these two players, unless Higher can get something done with these graveyard pulls.
Oh, pulls the Inferno all the way in. Let's get that. Okay, get that Mega Knight back towards the skeletons. Only doing some scratches. Brawler doing a lot of work there.
Another Ram Rider played here, using that Mega Knight to try and body the Ram Rider into the tower, but this time it's kind of gotten stuck. The Ram Rider doesn't know whether to go left or right, but chooses to go into the tower.
And a charge in, even with the extra damage does not connect with the remaining slow there. Higher. It's the one good graveyard when he wins that bridge fight. Can be done. A great tornado to pull everything together. Both the baby dragons are there. Here comes the graveyard to change things around.
But the goblins and the Ewiz are there. Goblins live a little bit longer in that poison than bats do, and that's going to give enough of a defensive opportunity for Expo Master to turn this around. There is the Ram Rider. The Goblin Cage is played. The Ewiz is there to slow it down. Another poison ticks through. Can Expo Master take the first game in set 3? Graveyard comes down from Higher. It is down to this. 10 seconds remaining.
Too many defensive tools on Expo Master's side. That tornado, good pull, but not enough in damage. There's the poison. Expo Master taking the first game away from Higher, and Fob Gaming 1 game away from that championship spot. What a game.
What a game indeed, G-Clef. Expo Master just exposed Higher's deck, showed exactly where the weaknesses are, finding ways to break through, shutting down graveyards time and time again. Even the Inferno Dragon taking out the Baby Dragons for the tanks, even though sometimes the Baby Dragon wasn't even there for the tank. Splash damage connecting onto the Mega Knight instead of the tower, or like bouncing onto the tower. I mean, just phenomenal here from Expo Master.
Yeah, the slows from the Ice Wizard kept most of those Ram Riders away from reaching the tower directly.
So here, the Mega Knight actually lets that Ram Rider get stuck. It doesn't know whether it's going left or right. And it's not until the angle turns on it that it decides to finally go towards that tower. It kind of got stuck in limbo and eventually found a way to the tower. Could this be the last set
for
of this season?
The final game for WEDGM. I mean, Higher can strike back. It is totally possible, but right now the form for Expo Master and the entire squad of Fob seems unreachable. Maybe this is it for WEDGM. They've been waiting at the finals as the winners bracket. They did not lose a match to come up from the playoff yet.
But when we saw WEDGM take on Fab the first time, and when we saw WEDGM versus Kicks in the second match of the winners bracket, we were here doing exactly the same thing, going, is WEDGM done? And then they came back and won. It's looking good. 2 match points now for Expo Master, and if you're going to give someone match points, that's the guy you want to give, given his form throughout the whole of this season.
And the player...
Higher can do it. Higher is known for just being an absolute monster.
Yeah, but the decks from Fob today seems unpredictable. Like they're moving towards not towards the meta deck, the super popular meta decks. They're going for the unpopular decks that are seen sometimes but not that often that you can snipe, like the Ram Rider, like the P.E.K.K.A that you've seen. Oh, even higher has brought that old school Graveyard Tornado that's not being played, not at all. Maybe we've seen it throughout the playoff only twice. Once it worked, once it did not work. And
Well,
now what do you bring? It can be the final game for your team, the entire season for higher.
And the pressure will be on. Will WEDGM be second place again? They were second place at Worlds. Will they be second place in CRL East?
Yes, against Team Liquid second, against Nova second, too many times.
Are they the perpetual second place team? Have they ever actually won? No. Right?
Not from CRL China, not since the beginning of 2018.
And neither are Fav. Fav finished second in the last season last time, and they lost to OGN in the finals. So both these teams are looking to correct the past. They are looking to finally get that big win under their belt. They have been robbed before. One of them has to take it today. Is it going to be Fav Expo Master bringing it home for his team, or will Higher start the comeback? We'll find out as both teams start messing around.
And Higher goes back to the Royal Hog.
Royal Hog Flying Machine, it is for Higher.
Oh, the Flying Machine does not reach the heal. Good news for Expo Master. Just out of range for that heal there.
What is Expo Master bringing? With the Inferno Dragon? With the Goblins? What are you feeling?
I think the same Remember deck that he has just played. He has some room. He does have all the world for himself right now. His team's winning 2-0. He just won the first game. So might as well, let's just test one more.
We'll see the Flying Machine gets a big connection here for Higher. And that 3 or 4 hits from a Flying Machine is enough to put a tower in a world of hurt. Here comes the Ram Rider. Royal Delivery to just push her back, stop that jump. Heal Spirit is enough to just buy that little bit of extra time on the defense. Everything is nicely cleaned up here.
Yep, with that big Flying Machine connect, certainly Higher still leading. And even with an EQ, Expo Master brings out his final card, the E-Wiz. Still, the defense cannot be perfect, but limiting it to minimum damage.
Played at the back here, just cycling through more elixir. What is he going to build behind this Mega Knight? Are we going to see that Ram Rider play behind, trying to push it into the tower? There it is. Is it going to happen again? Everything goes down. Royal Delivery.
The delivery's there to push it back, the cage to pull it through to the side.
Is it still going to get a connection? No way.
Oh, it does!
How does that live that long? And that snowball, that will be one of, that's the most value you will ever see a snowball get.
That's chill, down to the ground. Higher every single one of those. Small, Trip just gone with a snowball. It has to bring something else. You cannot get those dash to connect into the tower. Higher. After the charge, we'll be saying, okay, I thought that was going to be good enough defense.
Oh, the Ram Rider.
Delivery on top.
Is it still going to get a connection? It does.
Oh,
it gets
snowball,
another big head.
and the Mega Knight! That is it! Expo Master takes game number 2, and that's it. 3-0 Grand Finals. Bob is your Clash Royale League East champion.
Fav Gaming. Expo Master took that out of nowhere. He had no right doing that in that final game, but it doesn't matter. What is right is Fav Gaming have come from the losers bracket. They have come all the way back up after losing the first round in the winners. They are your CRLE special season champions. Absolutely phenomenal team. Super strong core, flexible outer edges. What a team, and they will be receiving that trophy probably in the post at some point.
Yeah, with the big bonus prize pool of 40,000. A big win for Fav Gaming. This was a special season, not online.
Congratulations to Fav Gaming, our champion of
because it got down to that big trophy. Of course, I'm pretty sure it will be shipped for Fab Gaming very soon.
Yeah.
And they will be placing, a big medal. Certainly the season, the pickup for Expo Master into the team. Yeah, without Expo Master, I don't think this would have happened, but a great roster to run through. Certainly they had back and forth a big I would say a big sidekick to go through whenever there's a hero. When the hero goes down, then the sidekick.
Master.
So Expo Master is your FMVP. I think we're just going to let her talk because she is talking as well.
Let's applaud to final MVP.
Yes, and a special time for us to actually summarize and close it up at the same time, I think. Yeah, it's been a fun season online.
It has. It's
special
been
season.
It has been a great season. Expo Master very clearly the finals MVP. I don't think anyone could take that away from him. MVP of the season.
Of the season? Oh, that's hard to call. Hard to call, but I would say still Expo Master.
Ooh. Okay.
I do have few other names like Onion. Onion had a great run through kicks. And if I had to choose a few more, maybe Higher.
Higher definitely should be up there. Maybe Solomon as well.
Yeah, Higher kicking.
Biggest meme? Solomon headshake, man. No one can beat that. But guys, it has been a fantastic season. Congratulations to WEDGM for once again coming second. Keeping that run. I mean, it's gotta hurt. And if you're a WEDGM fan out there, I really do feel for you. Getting so close, looking so dominant all season, finishing first in the playoffs, beating everyone in the winner's bracket, and then falling short on the last day. It's going to hurt, but the Fab fans out there.
It is time to party. It is definitely time to party, and I know there are tons of Fab Gaming fans, even having some viewing party even in Japan. Let's see, I think that's it for us. It was a special season, even with the triple draft. It was something special, something new, and I fully enjoyed it, Simon.
It has been an absolutely phenomenal season. Thank you so much for joining us. Fab Gaming are your CRL East special season champions. We'll see you all next time, guys. Stay safe and play Clash Royale. See you all later. Oh, we're going to go on for a little bit more.
We have some more time. It is the special closing. It is the closing for the season. I mean, what else can we say?
We have seen each of these teams play some phenomenal Clash Royale. Teams that are your favorites, teams that are not your favorites. In the end, Japan takes spring season again. We talked about the Spring Kings, Ponos, but maybe it was just the Japanese region.
Yeah, this time it's Fab Gaming, and we will close. Stay home, play Clash Royale.